Yeah, cheers. So it's good to be here. I'm just scrambling, trying to get all the teams added into the.
But Jonathan and I have dubbed today the most masochistic day of our lives.
Right. It is absolutely that.
We totally chose it. We opted in. So did you. And okay, so let's tell everybody like what's going on and how this is going to go down and go.
Yeah. So we're using basically a white labeled instance of ClearFund. For anyone who hasn't heard of ClearFund before, it's a quadratic funding protocol. So we've spun up an ETHDenver kind of branded instance of it, and for round 2 of judging, the top 20, or actually I think now it's the top 22 finalists are being entered into this quadratic funding round. ETHDenver's putting up a 10K matching pool, and then the other 5K from the open track prizes has been allocated to various judges, a panel of kind of celebrity judges, and then also a panel of judges from round 1 that picked that top 20. And they are all going to vote using quadratic voting or quadratic funding to allocate that matching pool, as well as their kind of direct contributions to each of the projects. So rather than kind of how most hackathons do it and how we've done it in the past, where everyone kind of has just a point system or something like that, and you pick the top X projects to win, we're kind of making it a little bit more algorithmic, and then on top of that, opening it up to the rest of the community, the rest of the ETHDenver attendees, to vote on which projects they want to win as well, in the same way as the judges. So really creating an opportunity for much more community involvement than we've had in the past.
We're experimenting once again. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's. I mean, ETHDenver has had a kind of track record of doing this. Always being the.
We win some, we lose some, but this time I'm looking forward to seeing this in real life. I mean, I remember you first talking about ClearFund before it was a thing. You hacked it basically at ETHDenver 2020.
Right.
And here we are a year later using it, dog fooding it in real life. So like this is fabulous. And I think quadratic funding is going to be a thing of the future. In fact, it's going to be something that the Bufficorn Ventures is going to be participating in quite heavily. So we're very interested in seeing how much love and magic pixie dust we can sprinkle around the community. And I think it's a really interesting sort of new take on meritocracy in a very interesting sort of tech forward way. So very cool. Okay, so are we? What's the? Last I knew, we were going to start a little bit early. And then
I should probably jump off and finish get the finishing touches on all of the top 20 projects, get them entered into the round so that we can get the judges in, and then get the attendees in, get everyone voting.
Okay, so do we have the judges in yet? Are they backstage here, Jonathan? Are we?
They are not in. I'm not sure about the celebrity judges, but we haven't got the projects added to the round yet.
Okay, go finish. Yep.
Cool. All right. Guys, have fun.
Okay. So structure is this: each team is going to come in and pitch for 5 minutes. They have a maximum of 5 minutes. They can pitch for 4 and questions for 1, whatever. There's going to be a fairly hard clock on this because we don't really have a lot of time. We could literally have 20 teams to get through in the next 2 hours. So get your drink, get comfortable. It's going to be rapid fire, drinking from a fire hose, but these are the top projects of ETHDenver 2021. So you ready to go, Jonathan?
We are ready. So we've got 2C. Sorry?
Oh, I was just going to say, John, I don't have the XDAI in my account. Does that come in later?
Okay, do me a favor. Keep track of who your votes are, and then I will have Auryn follow up with you just shortly, async, and we'll make sure that we get your votes and or your XDAI to make sure that your votes are cast, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, who do we have up first? Jonathan, do you have a list yet?
I don't have a list yet, but I do know these people. They go by 2C, so I'm going to go ahead and add them in and let them introduce themselves, if that's okay.
Okay, and you can pull me out.
All right, take it away, 2C.
Hi, everyone. We're 2C, or 2's complement. We have 4 people on our team: Chieri Wada, Julian Ramal, Nico Valencia, and myself, Katie Drumko, and our project is called True Review. Our project is censorship resistant reviews. And really the inspiration for our project came in the wake of Google censoring over 100,000 reviews after the whole Robinhood GameStop debacle. We decided that, based on what people had been saying online, that users should be able to have their voice and their data protected online, and that stuff shouldn't be taken down. So reviews belong to the people, and that's basically what we built. It lets people own their own reviews, share them without fear of censorship, and we're excited to share who we worked with. So Ceramic and IDX was used for the review, posting the review and user own data portion. We also partnered with Colorado State to use IDX for the social proof on the identity side, and connected that to businesses as well so that they could be verified. And then just to simplify things in terms of how IDX uses their DIDs, we implemented unstoppable domains and added some fun gamification with Near protocol for NFTs and some of those rewards. So as you can see through our demo on the product side, you can sign up with a simple name, which is your namespace, and then get a confirmation through My Colorado with your social proof that you are who you say you are. You're not a bot. You go ahead and sign up, and as soon as you join the app, you're invited in to submit your first review. This idea of creds is introduced, which is basically a leveling mechanism for gamification. So once you submit your review with your IPFS-based videos and photos, you can attach those things to earn even more creds, and maybe even give some feedback to local businesses about how they're being compliant with COVID standards. So as soon as you submit that, you get a nice drop of dopamine that says, hey, awesome, you get your first level for signing up, and you can see other reviews on a business's page. So you can kind of get to see, hey, who else has been reviewing and what's their level and what's their credibility in this community. The next step of that is just saying, hey, now that I'm feeling comfortable in this app, what other things might I want to explore? And we incorporated Colorado's Fun Finder activity, which shows you a list of breweries that you might want to do as like a side quest. And the model here is to incentivize people to go to multiple spots so that they can achieve an NFT at the end of participating in this special challenge. So they go ahead and claim their NFT for stopping at all those places with their location.
It's Scout the Corgi. All right, let's check out the technology stuff behind this. To integrate this into the crypto stack that we were working with, all these sponsors that have come together, we first bootstrap all of the data schemas and models on IDX and Ceramic. So this is data backed on IPFS, but using these Ceramic docs and people's IDX indexes, we're allowed to really put all of the user data on the user's IDX index and let them truly own that.
1 minute.
Here we can have the essentially any review that is left by a user on one of these organizations would be stored on their IDX index. So you're seeing here how state of Colorado or any group could post one of those organizations to Ceramic on IPFS, and then a user can log in with their MetaMask. They can authenticate with their IDX, load some content from their computer, either image or video, to IPFS, which then will create a review object on their IDX index. It is censorship resistant. Problem is, bots and spam are also not censorship resistant. So this allows us to link through a signed challenge statement through the My Colorado digital ID. So the state of Colorado or any verifying entity, it could be another proof like Twitter and LinkedIn. The Ceramic has some stuff like that up as well. You can prove that you're a real human. So your reviews are actually linked to your human identity. So quick pause, DeFi, like we could skip a lot of KYC stuff here. And then when those verification records are set, you can basically have a general app experience that shows the integrity of those reviews. Unstoppable domains, we set a subdomain record essentially to point to your IDX wallet, DID, because these DIDs are kind of long and hard to remember. So that makes it super easy to give somebody a quick address of who you are so you can see your reviews for a company. You can see there it's linking back to that IDX DID. And then here's the Fun Finder, which we integrated with Near NFTs to basically give super fast and performant NFTs as rewards for completing quests or objectives. This stuff's backed by IPFS, and the DID points right back at the Near token points right back at the DID of the user's IDX wallet.
Okay, can we break here? We're out of time, but we need to save a little bit for the guests or for the judges, please.
You got
1
it.
minute.
I personally like the use case a lot. I think using blockchain as a trust layer is a great utility of the technology. So good job. It's a great idea. And I think it'll provide a lot of value in the space.
Thank you.
I know you guys think a lot about mainstream audiences. I know you guys think about a lot about mainstream design. Give me the hardest part to this. Like, what was the rockiest piece of the ecosystem, and how do we smooth it out for the next guy?
Definitely the community layer of re-aggregating all of the decentralized data in a way that makes sense. So we're still working on a lot of that, and there's multiple different layers. And so that's definitely the challenge that I think we would propose for the next era of things, is figuring out that community piece.
And if you want to look at some of our thoughts on that, it's in our submission. So we've thought through different layers of decentralization.
Okay, quick question. So you said that you link to the Secretary of State to assure that somebody's actually real. So do you link to like birth certificates? And how do you verify that that person is actually that person? Like they're saying, do you have a verification for that?
Yep. So thanks to the My Colorado app that Russell's team has put together, this webhook verification process where the user on our end can sign with their crypto keys, or in this case, their IDX identity there. They can sign a challenge phrase, and just like a social verification to like prove that you own Twitter on the blockchain or something, you can prove that you actually have citizenship or you have a certain identity with something like the state of Colorado.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Thank you very, very much. Let's see here. Thank you very much, 2C. Up next, it looks like we have all-in-one IDX, and we have Graven. Graven, welcome. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and add in your share, and we'll do 3 minutes. I'll give you a 1 minute warning, and then we'll do 1 more minute, and then you get 1 minute for Q&A with the judges, please. Take it away.
All right. Our original team name was All In on IDX, but we actually changed it, but still same theme. We did a bunch of different things with identity, decentralized identity. So I'll let it roll. Welcome to our demo of the Identity Lego Starter Set. Our team came together based on shared excitement for decentralized identity and the implications for Web3. We have 4 identity Legos that we're going to demo for you today. They center around the IDX protocol and include integrations with SourceCred, MyColorado, and a land title verification oracle.
Hi, I'm Will, aka Disbulik, and this is my entry for the Bidlathon. Allow SourceCred to use IDX as a source of truth. For the purpose of saving time, I'm going to demo the system as I described it. SourceCred is an automated system for rewarding value added to an organization. It takes contributions from GitHub, messages from Discord, and posts from Discourse, converts them into a graph, then uses PageRank to flow a token until the distribution stabilizes. Based on that token, periodically, a more valuable liquidity-backed token is minted and distributed to the participants. To make the connections between content graphs, SourceCred needs to know which accounts belong to the same user. Currently, there's a Discord bot that creates these links. The weakness of this solution is there's no authentication, so it's possible to claim someone else's account. IDX offers the identity link service, which generates a verifiable credential representing control of an account. Authentication is done by the user publishing their DID into the service in question. The UI for generating an account link didn't exist yet, so the first part of the Bidlathon was spent developing the simple interface seen here on top for generating a GitHub account link. The bottom window is a program that loads the SourceCred ledger, checks the associated Ethereum addresses for an IDX DID, then loads any account links and converts them into SourceCred aliases. When a user verifies an account multiple times, the credentials are appended to a list. That's why you see multiple errors trying to create a duplicate alias.
Here we have our identity link UI again, but this one is set up for an integration with the MyColorado app. After linking the wallet and connecting the DID through 3Box Connect, we're ready to go. On this UI, we're simulating a QR code scan and the user permissions that would happen off screen with this button click. Kicks off the process with the MyColorado server, sending the identity info to our identity link service, and then it shows up here. Now let's run a few commands in the console to show what's going on under the hood. First, let's retrieve our driver's license definition. You can see that right here. And then let's look at the schema for the data. Finally, let's pull the actual record that we associated to the DID using IDX. And here we see that the matching credential for Ricky Ricardo is the same on the UI as the result from our query from the network. We went in a new direction for our last Lego. Instead of using IDX, we built an oracle to verify land parcel ownership. It's an approach with different trade-offs and benefits, but similar in motivation in that we're verifying a shard of your identity. So here it is in action. We use a name and location as inputs to call the contract. The contract queries the public records and compares the input to the official records that are returned. We're just using a name match and a point location for this proof of concept. We'd obviously employ some different strategies for a more robust implementation. In this case, the return result was true, meaning that the person that claimed that they own the parcel of land is in fact the owner of record. On behalf of the team, thank you to the judges and the sponsors for their time and support. And of course, thank you to the awesome team that made ETHDenver such a great week. We can now take any questions.
So I have a quick question, which is, what do you imagine this could turn into on a longer timeline?
Yeah, well, in the shortest timeline, the source cred integration, I think, is going to be used by a couple different communities that we've already been talking to, and we plan on using it on some of our side projects. So I think that's an automatic. There's still work to do, but that'll happen. Personally, I'm working on a project with some augmented reality digital real estate. So I'm interested in that physical land ownership piece to potentially integrate that.
Yeah, it's funny. Like there's like 4 different projects here, right? When you take on an ambitious project, you find a lot of holes along the way, and then you fill those holes with their own thing. The chain link for property records in Colorado is awesome too, right? The fact that chain link can just go to a URL, let's start putting that stuff on chain and let's see what happens. That's a really cool adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this could even turn into basically MLS on blockchain, just to Austin's point, right?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement around real estate on blockchain. So,
yeah, chain of custody is important, and you need a lot of security for that. So blockchain's a great example for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, stand by 1 second here. All right, up next, so we have ColorDAO, and presenting here we have Christian. Let's welcome Christian to the live stream. All right. Same scenario here. You're going to get 5 minutes. Let's do 3 minutes. You'll get 1 little ding for the timer with 1 minute warning, and then you'll get 1 minute with the judges. So here's your stream, and go ahead and take it away.
Okay, awesome. I'm Christian, and we are ColorDAO. And what we want to do is to bring virtual governance to Colorado. So what we want to do is actually encourage people and citizens of Colorado to take an active role in their government. And to that, we are creating something similar to Uni, Comp, and different governance token, but with the Colorado state, and that's creating a ColoCon. So how it works? First, a user needs to create an enrollment and join the organization, right? So for that, we are using my Colorado app, which the user connects with their address using IDX. This request is sent then to the government, that the government check it out and approve it. And if it's fine, then they receive an NFT that is the proof of membership of the DAO. So how it works is that all the members of this can earn this Colo token, which can be used for different stuff. For example, the first one is you can burn the tokens in order to express your opinion. It has some quadratic voting stuff in order to measure well the voting. Also can be used for governance protocols, in the sense that you can vote for manage a treasury or smart contract actions. As it is a ERC20 token standard, it can be plugged into DeFi, use it on Uniswap, Aave, and whatever it can be defined. And also it's perfect for giving rewards to users that burn the token. For example, people that want some kind of discount or anything as a proof of being active in the community. So for that, we created 2 smart contracts to test the rewards. And the first one is the proof of action. For example, if the state wants to give rewards to people that takes the COVID vaccine, they can submit a photo of them getting the vaccine and earn these Colo tokens. Also, for example, they can create a bounty or an action that they need to clean a park or a mountain or something, and earn this reward. The second one is that we want to encourage people to actually buy locally. So we create a small POS that allows small vendors to request a payment, and if a citizen pays, I mean a DAO member pays, and they will earn some rewards. And I have some small demos. Sorry for how ugly it is, because we didn't have time. This is on Rinkeby and on Clay testnet, so we wanted to make it runnable. So I'm going to speed it up as it's really fast. A lot of stuff going on here. So the first thing is that we are creating our membership. And for that, I don't have a Colorado app, so we are faking it using this QR code. The idea is that you will go and grab your My Colorado app and scan this QR code, and this will generate user ID. And this DID will be used to create documents. For example, we are saving proof just to see how this decentralized identity can be used to save documents, for example. And the most important thing of this part is the actual key. This one is the one that we are going to use to apply for a membership. So I'm going to do it over here on Etherscan. So I am applying for, so you can see that I did apply, but I haven't been accepted. So my balance is 0 and I'm not a member. Then fast forwarding, I'm logging as a government account, and over as a government account, I'm going to approve the membership, and I'm going to set up all the information. Of course, I can see the information that was provided by me, my name and everything. So now that I have been approved, you can see I have this awesome Buficorn that is the NFT, and I can see also the proposal that I created in the other contract to reward people that they do some actions. So the first one is proof of vaccine of COVID, and the second one is the proof of cleaning a park. So as I saved the IPF hash on the other application, I'm just copy pasting over here and submitting a proof. Then anyone on the government side can check it out and accept or deny the proof. So if it's accepted, then they are going to earn those rewards that were specified in the creation of the transaction. So here I'm creating another action. So over here, if you can see, my balance got increased to 2. And finally, I had some small testing of requesting a payment, another smart contract. You can see over here that my balance got decreased from 0.9 to 0.4, and my balance got increased. So this is simulating a sale. And
okay, we have 1 more minute. Let's take 1 minute with the judges' questions, please.
Cool.
I thought you said this was NFT, so how would it be exchangeable on Uniswap? I don't understand that.
So we have 2 tokens. The first one is the membership that you can use by other contracts to prove that this user, this address has is part of the membership. And the second one is the Colo token. The Colo token is the one that can be traded in Uniswap in other contracts. Of course, by default, this is set by false. So it means you can't trade. This token is not tradable, because we don't want people buying bots or bolts and everything. But the contract and the governance rules, so if they all decide that they want to trade their tokens, they will be able to disable this functionality and allow it.
Okay, so once you do that, you're not talking about an NFT. You go into a lot of regulatory problems, right?
With the Colo token, right? Yeah. That's the reason why we don't want it to be transferable, as it will have value, but we don't want it to have value. And we actually want it to be burnable. So every time you vote, you are burning your tokens. So yeah,
once you keep it in an internal system like that, then you can really use it for all these things without crossing into those kind of regulatory banking and other issues.
And one thing that you could do, I think this is you have really cool components and a lot of potential here, is if there are things where you're actually paying for something to be done, which I think you mentioned, this is like a super fast presentation. You could use stable coins separately for anything that actually has to be financial.
That's right. Let them take care of that problem.
Yeah, for example, the payment was done with ETH, and we support also paying with DAI or whatever. So your reward is just by buying to a small business.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Excellent. All right. So up next, it looks like we have Creation 2. Is that you, Sina? I know we have you backstage, but I can't see you or hear you. So I'm just curious if you're here for that. Okay. Not getting anything from them. So can we take a quick break here with you guys? If Meta, take a nice drink, and you guys can refresh your beverages if you need to. Or I'm curious, like, if maybe you guys want to take a second to riff on some of the projects that you've seen as you've been doing the judging. What are some themes that you've seen? What are some things that have really impressed you with this year's submissions?
I just want to jump in really quickly. Sorry. I am so excited people are thinking about identity. And I think it is so cool what Colorado is doing with this. Like, this is mind-blowing. It's the future. I'm so excited about it.
Peter, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I've been thinking about, what do we really need to legalize the use of blockchain broadly? And no matter which way you come at it, you start with identity. It's just, it just keeps coming back to identity. It's like, oh, I need identity. I want to build this. I need identity. So it's really, I totally echo your sentiment that it's really cool to see so many identity related ideas popping up here.
And also on the censor resistant part, I love the idea, like in this blockchain world, we should be able to freely express what we want to say to the community. And resistance is not good. So I love the project.
These two issues, I just want to make the point, these two exact issues came up in the US general election. These are like very real problems.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but having the Colorado Securities Commissioner dunk on a developer for using an ERC20 instead of an NFT makes my heart grow 10 times.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think there's, blockchain is so exciting, and it always makes me a little bit sad that these amazing projects try to squeeze in the kind of stuff that makes it so much more complicated in regulatory world and so much more complicated with finances, when you can really do all this identity and really exciting stuff just without that token, that you can have an internal token and then just be as creative as you want. So I think that's really exciting when people focus on that part of it.
There's a lot that can be done with incentive design, right? And to enable communities to come together and participate more fully without needing to attach any value to a token, right?
Right,
and extrinsic value.
Exactly, yeah. And the blockchain's ability to record and its immutability, its transparency, these are amazing things without having to pull in these other parts of it. They're just more complicated when you do, and it doesn't need to be that way, I think.
And governance certainly play a major role here, right? People need to know how we are actually running these projects. So I think that having the idea of governance there also is cool.
Cool. Excellent. All right. To keep the train rolling, thank you very much for your insights. Those were all really incredible points. I think each one of those could be explored for an hour in depth. But thank you for sharing those quick tips. Up next, we have DevCon 402 for Last Mile. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
All right.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, so the format is you get 5 minutes, 3 minutes, you'll get your first warning, 1 minute later, the second one, and save 1 minute for the judges. Go ahead and start your screen share if you have one, and we'll bring it up. All right, take it away.
So our project is called Last Mile Crypto. The last mile communications refers to usually rural communities that lack proper internet connectivity. Real quick, who we are. I might go by Michael, aka Gus, and my partner Adam. We're from Omaha, Nebraska, and we're part of the DEFCON 402 group. So we're really big into like hacking, cybersecurity, networking, hardware, stuff like that. So the mission of this project is to provide Ethereum access to people without internet. Because recently it seems like only 60% of the population has regular internet access, 40% does not. So our goal of this project is to use alternative and legacy communication technologies to give Ethereum access to people with no internet access. And with that access, it will allow them the financial inclusion, microtransactions, connectivity, all the good stuff that goes along with Ethereum. They get access to that. we kind of single into the last mile. The three areas where we feel like our application is applicable is the first one, developing countries like third world, stuff like that, where they lack internet. Number two, disaster situations, like Puerto Rico after a hurricane and you don't have internet access, or if you're in a power outage, this provides a kind of redundant backup network to access your money. And also government firewalls. There's a few governments out there that don't allow their citizens to access blockchain websites. So this gives citizens a way to circumvent that firewall and internet altogether and access Ethereum. So some examples of these alternative and legacy technologies that we thought about targeting this week were SMS text messaging, TDD, TTY, which is for hearing impaired people, good old-fashioned dial-up, and then also amateur radio, Wi-Fi, LoRaWAN. And then for this talk, for this hackathon, we focused on SMS text messaging. So then the app that we built out is SMS text banking using Ethereum. The issue for this is that, so like in Africa, most of sub-Saharan Africa, mobile phones are much more popular than smartphones. This is the type of phone that most people have in third world countries. And also, it seems like more people have mobile phones than they have electricity in their households. So we wanted to provide a way so that people with these types of phones could, via SMS text, interact with the blockchain. And what we built out was a simple application where users can text these commands to our SMS phone number, and our server will reply back with the information they requested. So they could send the command balance and then plug in their account number, and we'll return the Ethereum balance. And they can also send like a signed transaction if they wanted to transfer stuff between other accounts and get price conversions and the gas price. So this is an example of the application in action. The green things are me sending messages, and the gray is our server replying. Real quick, our future goals, if we had more time, we would have added more commands to the SMS thing. I would have tackled the dial-up and TDD and maybe got into ham radio if I had more time to do stuff. So real quick, I can show a demo if I have a streaming yard. Oh, that's not good. It might be kind of hard to see. So this phone number that you see on your screen, this is active right now, and it's synced with the Rinkeby network. So if you have a Rinkeby account, you can go ahead and text this number and check your Rinkeby balance, things like that. So what I'm trying to do is master this. My screen share, I'll stop that real quick. Stop the share. And then really quickly, might be tough to see the text messages on my bad cell phone, but so I can type in ETH to USD, and it will shoot back with the current ETH price, which is 1 ETH equals that. And then I can really quick copy and paste. I've been running this thing all day. Paste. This is a balance. It says balance right there, and then underneath is the account number. I'll send that message, and it will return back giving me the balance. It says, you can't see it, but it says balance for the first 4 digits of the account and the Ethereum balance for that account. And that's it. Any questions?
You said that you could send transactions. Where's the private key live that's signing those?
Okay, that's where things get complicated, and it's kind of the bottleneck. Share screen. You should, yeah, okay. So here on the right-hand example of me sending an example of a signed transaction. In order for me to do that, I had to use an offline software on an offline computer. I had to find a computer with my Ether wallet installed, and I had to craft the transaction myself. And there's the offline transaction. And the worst part is that if you have a flip phone, you have to T9 that information into the phone so you can text it. So that's probably one of the big hiccups about this, if you have like a T9 phone.
And technically, having an air-gapped machine doing this stuff for you is a feature, but I think in the emerging market that we're talking about, it's more about usability than anything.
Yeah, and if you had a hardware wallet also, you'd be able to craft a signed transaction also.
So how is this different from what's already out there?
You mean if you didn't have internet access?
Yeah, like in the third world, in Africa and Cape Town and stuff like that. How's this different?
I don't know of anybody offering SMS text banking for Ethereum.
Okay, so when you say SMS text banking, you realize that you can't do this in the States unless you are a money transmitter in every single state, right? It's actually, and then there's a federal law on top of it that makes it criminal.
Oh, well, I mean, they're not. So when it comes to doing like the balance and stuff like that, they're just getting information.
Yeah, the balance. But when you say it's banking and you're using,
well, that's where you can do the banking when you send a signed transaction. So it depends on how you look at it. It's not like the signed transaction is telling the Ethereum blockchain to transfer money to a different account.
Right, and that starts to link up ETH to cash, right? And so now you're helping transmit that to fiat.
It's not going to fiat yet, no. Our application is strictly Ethereum.
Right, but when you say banking, that immediately means it's either being used for retail or it's somehow being transferred to fiat.
Oh, I could just pick. I picked bad terminology then. Okay. SMS text access to Ethereum blockchain is a better term.
I see.
You're basically just proxying network traffic from SMS over to an RPC.
Basically, we merged the Twilio API with the Etherscan API.
So I guess, does that mean that this relies on some kind of server to listen to the SMS? Does this rely like it relies on Twilio, right? And that's what you were saying earlier, Austin.
Yeah, I didn't know about Twilio until this week. I was going to make my own server at my house running Asterix. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Hold on 1 second here, guys.
While you're transitioning, I do want to comment that integrating Twilio and ETH is quite cool. Just by itself.
It looks like our next guests are actually running late. So I'm just trying to get some quick updates here real quick on that. And
not the same as when it's in person. We have a line of 200 developers out the door of the sports castle.
Just standing
or out
there.
the door of the 4th floor. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and step off here while I work on this. Is there any other things that you guys want to explore a little bit more about some of the things that you've seen? If particularly want to take maybe one subject area maybe and then highlight some trends or kind of dive into that. I don't know if any of you want to take the lead.
The goosebumps. When the Colorado Securities Commissioner gets goosebumps about something, I want to know what those things are. And specifically, we dove into be careful with those ERC20 tokens. Be careful with those things that you can put on Uniswap and get liquidity. What other things are popping up to you as like obvious moles to hit down? What things give you goosebumps? What things are you excited about?
I think we all know anything where you're trying to promote the price, but we're not doing that here. But also money transmission is actually on the banking side. And the thing that makes me very uncomfortable about that is unlike securities where if you're unregistered, it's not criminal. You just have to pay a fine or whatever. On the criminal side, money transmission where you're actually banking has a federal overlay up on top of the state regulations that make it criminal. So that makes me really nervous, and I don't want anybody to get into that trouble just because they didn't know.
And money transmission would be I'm running a bridge and someone's giving me one kind of currency and I'm giving them back some other kind of currency, or
anytime the
custodying their money for a second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so technically those guys who are in a truck and they're transporting money from a bank to another bank or the safe way to the bank, those guys are actually money transmitters. Like it goes from physical to electronic, the whole range. If you are moving that money as a primary business, you're in money transmission. And all 50 states have the different laws, which make it so much more complicated.
I just want to say, I just love that she's so educated in blockchain. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, me too.
Because honestly, I feel like we all are. But I mean, if you kind of pop up the stack and you look at the regulators and the folks that are, the legislators, we have a long way to go with respect to education. And I would even say, from my experience, I know that they couldn't even tax software as a service. There's many states that don't even know how to decide where the tax goes if a server's in one state and the customer's in another. They don't know how to tax the service still. And that's been around for 20 years now. So we have a long way to go with education. So I'm very happy to see, that you know so much about blockchain tech. That's really cool.
Oh, thanks. I'll come to any of you guys' events. Just anytime you.
How could we make it better? How could we have made your onboarding into the space better in terms of where you go to learn and what other pieces of education we could have provided to policymakers?
I think for me, it's not really about me. I think the question is, how do you bridge to other legislators and other people who are not where a lot of us are? And, I don't have the answer for that, but I do know that early in the day when me and my friends were on computers, people were like, oh, that's nerds, nobody's on there. And now you've got like celebrities and everybody's on there. Yeah, so I think maybe it has to do with cultural knowledge, but also the interfaces. As they get easier, I think people will be able to get on, and then they'll understand it. I hope that helps.
This is a really good point, right? And I'm remembering now there were like, I'm younger. I read about computer businesses, and then you ended up with like internet businesses. I remember, when I was in college, there were these internet businesses launching, and then now it's like blockchain businesses. I'm hoping. And it seems like it might be one of those things that becomes redundant in the far future, right? Like it sounds silly to say, I work at an internet business, right? No one really says that phrasing.
Right. And look, everybody, like these stars who, Kim Kardashian is on the internet, right? She doesn't know how it works, but she can use it, right? And that's what I think we're going to eventually go to. If anybody thinks this genie's going back in the bottle, I think they're unrealistic. But I do think that the evolution has to get to a point where people can feel comfortable not understanding the way many of us do, but still wanting to and being able to access it. So I think that's the evolution that I imagine will happen. But I am not sure. I don't know what it will be. I
saw Soulja Boy was talking about minting NFTs versus ERC20s. And I remember Jordan Spence said, don't do ERC20s. Like he gave that same advice. And it's interesting when we're talking about the Kim Kardashians of the world, ready to tokenize their following. This NFT route looks better, but like, is that just going to become the next thing that security commissioners are worried about? Like how does a mainstream artist tokenize in a way that makes you happy?
I'm not sure, but I will say that it's not that you can't use an ERC token. It's how you decide to use it, right? It's not the token itself. I mean, you may want to build it as an ERC token that essentially is an NFT. That is to say, you don't want it transferable and you don't create a situation where it can be, right? But you want to keep that flexibility. So someday in the future, maybe when banking regulators finally get on board on how this is going to work and money transmission law clears up, you will still have that flexibility. So I don't really have an answer for that, but I do think that you guys probably want to build in a lot of flexibility because we don't know what this area is going to look like when it really hits the mainstream. So that's what I would imagine would happen.
Well, while we're grilling you here, which is kind of fun, is do you think that banks in particular are dragging their feet because this is a challenging technology or because of a control thing? And like, let me know if I'm begging the question a little bit there.
I would imagine, okay, so I started as a Wall Street attorney, which is that I worked for investment banks. So, from my personal experience, I don't think they're dragging their feet because they don't want the technology. I think the way they are is if they can see profit there, I imagine they're really excited about it. I think what the problem is how to do it safely, not just because of regulators, but because of what we're seeing with cyber hacking, which I imagine is going to be more intense. And they don't want to lose the money because they will probably have to pony up for it or get sued. It's a combination of all the things that make bankers cautious, which I think we kind of all want. We don't want our bankers to be Wild Westy. We want our innovators to be Wild Westy. Everything has their place. So
they definitely have a responsibility. They have a responsibility to the consumer, and they're beholden to the regulator. So they need to be cautious, right? They need to take the time and do their diligence and make sure that they really completely understand this basket that they're going to put their eggs in, right?
For sure, you're absolutely right, Meta. They just have a different role, and I hope our innovators are not that cautious. I hope our the developers are like, I have this great idea. It's going to link to Mars and it's going to totally work and we're going to live forever. So everyone has a different role. So yeah.
Excellent. I love this conversation. This is the best sort of interstitial dialogue between some of these presentations. So thank you. Keep it up. Thanks for your patience with us getting all of this rolling. Up next, we have Sam. So Sam, I believe, is presenting for God and his disciples. Let's go ahead and add Sam to the stream. Sam, you're in by audio. If you can open up your video, you should be able to be seen. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so the deal, Sam, here, you get 5 minutes, 3-minute warning with the first bell, 1 more minute, and then 1 minute with the judges at the end. So go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are Price. Price is a seasonal marketplace for fungible tokens to represent real-life entities like athletes or musicians. Our tokens or shares, though, they're based on the ERC 1155 protocol. So what I want to do right now is kind of take you through the life cycle of a season. So when we get started, basically we have this buy-in period, and in this buy-in period we issue different volumes of shares for different players based on a normal distribution of their player performance. So I want to buy in. So let's say I want to buy 1 share of Kevin Durant. So now we see this pulls up my MetaMask. It's going to cost me 0.1 ETH. I'll confirm that. And now I also want to buy 1 share of Joel Embiid here. So we'll pull up MetaMask again. We'll confirm that. Awesome. So as those are going, I'm going to switch back over here. Now, once we have the buy-in period done, and boom, perfect, those are successful, we launch into our open market. And our open market is basically run by an automated market maker, which allows our users to buy and sell their shares in a purely free way that just depends on supply and demand. And as the company that's facilitating this, we basically take a cut of all the transactions that occur in our marketplace. So let me just show this to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the season. It's a little janky, I know, but basically what this allows us to do is this is just a replacement for like the time actually passing by and us being able to like start the season when the actual games would be starting. So I'll open up my marketplace here, and now we have a much more open marketplace where I can buy and sell my shares. Awesome. So let me give you an example here. So I will sell 1 share of my share. Actually, I'll show you my portfolio just to show you that I have these shares in here. And now I will sell my 1 share of Joel Embiid. So as you can imagine, we use an automated market maker. It's based on supply and demand. We'll see how the prices can fluctuate in a little bit. And that's basically how this goes. You can make profit by buying low and selling high. But more interestingly, what sets us apart is really our dividends. And so basically, we use statistical performance using Chainlink to grab off-chain statistical data about how well players are performing in the real NBA to help calculate their share value. So let me give you an example. We've sold this Joel Embiid. Boom. Whoop, loading. He's gone. Perfect. Now I have this share of Kevin Durant. I want to collect his dividends. Okay, so I'll kick that off here. What does that really mean? Well, what that means is I hold Kevin Durant. My weekly dividend is calculated based on how many shares I own of Kevin Durant, 1, how many shares are open and out there in the marketplace, 2, and also how many the amount of money that we've been able to collect through transaction fees over the course of the season so far. Sweet. So now let me show you the kicker. So let's go home and let's pretend that the season is ending. Okay, so I will call this end season function and we'll kick this off on the blockchain. Now, what's very important to us is that we are able to drive organic growth through our ecosystem. We want people to adopt crypto, adopt this interesting asset. And so we want to encourage them to use our platform. So what we want to do is we want to encourage them to buy lots of shares. This is key. And I will show you more about that later. So boom, we close this, open our portfolio. Now, since we're in a controlled experiment, I'm the only person in our season for now. what I can do is I can receive my champion NFT for being the greatest shareholder in Kevin Durant stock. So I will click that off. This is a commemorative thing that we do at the end of every season. And basically what it does is it gives me an NFT for having the most shares of Kevin Durant. So lastly, on top of this, what we want to enable people to do is we want them to, being a decentralized platform, have control over a company revenue, right? So let me show you this. Boom, we refresh this. I have a custom NFT of Kevin Durant. And then what we can do is the ultimate winner, the ultimate person with the highest volume of shares, gets control over where those commissions we take along the way go, and gets to donate all of the commissions that we've taken to one of these lovely charities, which supports the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. And
Okay.
yeah.
Great, thanks, Sam. We have about 30 seconds left with the judges for some questions.
Okay, so I'm not going to have to repeat what I've already said. You know, there's so many problems with this in terms of money transmission, gambling. You can have to, you know, deal with gambling regulations in every state, securities, all of it. But this is my piece of advice. That's not something you can't overcome. You can do that. It's a pain. But I really recommend that you don't use words like dividends and, you know, securities and shares when you're trying to do something that isn't that. And I'll tell you that the ICO market, that boom, they deeply regretted calling it ICO. They did it on purpose because they wanted to sound like IPO, and then they spent, you know, millions of dollars and years trying to explain how they weren't actually securities because they didn't want to be stuck in that regulation. So I recommend that you can repackage this and not use those terms, and you will save yourself a lot of heartache. Also, if you do it actually for gambling, I cannot imagine that this wouldn't be extremely lucrative, but you would have to comply with all of the regulatory requirements. And of course, I don't know how it would work with the state, but you know, that's what I would say with this.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. All right. I apologize that we're all out of time, Sam, but thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. All right. Looks like we got a couple of them queued up here. So we have Leon Doe up next. Leon, I'm going to add your project for you. Give me 1 second here. Too many things I'm trying to do at the same time and only have 2 hands. Here's Super Rinkeby. I'll let you go ahead and take it away. You get 5 minutes, 3 minutes for the first alarm, 1 more minute warning, and then 1 minute with the judges.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So this is Super Rinkeby. It's a decentralized game on testnet. So the problem now is a lot of games are built with HTML, CSS, simply the wrong tool. So would it be cool to tap into a real gaming engine, such as Unity or Unreal? So this is exactly what this game does. It's built using Unity, and it's completely decentralized. So you can play now, but I'll jump into that later. If you want to know how the NFT system works, there's a little video on how to buy and sell. And this bottom section here is a marketplace to buy an NFT. So as of right now, you can play the game as a blue character, but if you buy this NFT, you can get a pink one or a magenta. So for technology, it's using Unique.1, which is a marketplace IPFS. For storage, Ethereum, never heard of it, but it's something like that. And GitHub is completely open sourced. We also plan on using unstoppable domains. So superrinkeby.crypto will also be implemented shortly. So back to this marketplace, if you want, you can go and buy this magenta one. Unfortunately, it's out of stock, so sorry, guys. So to play the game, there's 2 ways. You can either play it through connecting to MetaMask or not. So I'm going to play the first one incognito, without any wallet, without any of that. So this top part here is the IPFS hash. So hopefully this works. So this game is plugged through Unity, so no HTML, CSS. There's no server. There's no backend. Essentially, it's all client side and completely decentralized. So I'm clicking play, and this is the game. So as of right now, I'm just a blue character, very stock. Sorry, I gotta focus. You're just gonna watch me play this game this whole time. I'm just kidding. Parts a little bit. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's the stock character, right, in blue. So if I want, I can go back to the game and connect it to my MetaMask account. which I purchased the NFT from. So just go to connect. Connect. All right. So it's loading. It's pulling down the assets from the blockchain, and it's going to change the character from blue back to magenta. So if I click play, hopefully it changes colors. And there you go. This is an NFT that you can actually use instead of look at. Yeah, you're just going to watch me play this game for a little bit. Okay, just kidding. So that's it.
I think the key there is you can use the NFT in the game, but the game isn't actually, I mean, like the game is hosted decentralized, but it's not like you have to be standing on a certain platform and then that triggers something in Rinkeby. Like the skin of the game is the token, and it's decentralized because you can download the game from IPFS, but it's not like the game mechanics are decentralized. It's more like, hey, there's this cool like game you can play that you can buy an NFT that will kind of enhance that gameplay process.
Yeah, technically. To go into more detail, this game is built on Unity, and it's exported to WebGL, and that whole game is living on IPFS.
It's a good practical use, pragmatic use of the blockchain technology in a way that will provide value to the consumer, a collectible NFT that they could, I imagine in the future, you'd want people to be able to customize it or buy specific cool, collectibles, right? So they can win the game or whatnot in the future. And I think that's a really, really good pragmatic use of blockchain. Well done.
Appreciate it. Yeah, this was like a 2-day thing, so I didn't have much time to build.
I really hope it does not end up like having a lot of network jam, just like CryptoKitty and all. So all the best.
Yeah, I just do also want to add on that this is a totally real use case. I play Dota 2 and I buy skins, and it is such a painful experience if for some reason their market server is down, you can't buy, you can't transfer, you can't sell, and it's completely dependent on one company that doesn't really care about that like market, it feels like, right? Mm-hmm. So great use case.
Appreciate it. Yeah, what's beautiful about this is that NFT can be sold and bought and sold in any marketplace. I just chose a unique one for this example.
And I could make a game that has Magenta Guy jumping into it also, right? Like you can carve out the game here and just look at the mechanic and the composability, and that's what's important. It's awesome work. Good hackathon project.
Thank you. Yeah, this is all open source, so if anyone is interested in this, please reach out to me. I'd love to build more games.
Thanks, Leon.
Thanks.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much, Leon. All right. Up next, it looks like we've got Sina. Sina, are you ready to get started?
Yes.
All right. You get 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You'll get a warning. 1 more minute, and then 1 minute with the judges to wrap it up.
Sure. Do you have it? Okay.
Pardon me?
Do you have my screen?
Yes, I do. Here we go.
All right. Great. Sorry about that. So we're creating, and we are trying to be a permissionless, decentralized content sharing platform on Ethereum. So the idea is with the censorship that's going on in Twitter, like Patreon, and all these platforms, it's getting hard to actually support the freedom of speech. So we're trying to get that back to people and also provide them with some way of earning money. So creaton is actually a combination of Create and Patreon. So we have also a bunch of creators, mock-up creators, and I'm going to go to my pitch deck here, and we'll show you around the technicalities of the system and how we're going to achieve this on top of Ethereum. So basically, to have a social network or a creator economy, you need three things, and we have all these already on Ethereum or even on networks on top of Ethereum. So you need a payment system, and you need a file storage system, and you need a decentralized access control mechanism. For so the decentralized storage is basically IPFS. We use that one. For the money, we are using Superfluid to stream money. And for the decentralized access control, we use Nucypher, which gives back full control over data to the creators. And how the connecting dots here is just to connect all these platforms together. And with this mechanism, we can program the money that people are actually paying as fees on platforms right now into a DAO. That's our plan. So we can have a DAO using Superfluid or any programmable streams and put that money in that DAO and make the people govern that money actually, and then pay for fees, protocol structures, or even lend it on Compound, Aave, or anything, and then pay the interest back to those people participating in the DAO for moderation or even curation mechanism. So we've built a demo here, but Web3 is really hard to manage. So we have a wallet for Nucypher, connecting with Nucypher, and if I go here, this will be basically like this is really hard. So trust me, this and okay, my sorry, my laptop froze. That's strange. So this would be like this is a creator, and then to subscribe to the creator, you actually click here. And I've already done this because the transaction takes a little bit of time. And then here, the creator can come and, like in an Instagram kind of model, they can grant access to the subscribers. And then you can actually, we've made some streams currently working. And the cool thing with Superfluid is we can have like someone stream some money and then program it to send a percentage of the fee to the DAO. So right now, this subscriber is paying $2 per month, and this guy is getting $1.8 per month from that subscriber. And our treasury actually, okay, I lost the treasury. Our treasury actually is getting 0.2. It's not that much, but it's honest work. So yeah, this is creaton. Welcome to the new creator economy. Any questions?
Okay, I have a lot of technical questions. I'll just start with one, which is, how do you think about, let's go with permissioned user access, right? You're going to need admin roles. You're going to eventually have publications with multiple writers. So how do you imagine permissioned users being dealt with?
What do you mean exactly by permission user? So here, okay, I'm just going to explain. So here, all our creators are in control of their data. So we don't have any access control structure. We use Nucypher, which is basically a proxy encryption, and they encrypt the data and then publish it, and they can give access to whomever they want.
Got it. Okay, that answers the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, how does this DAO work? You're saying that the money goes into the DAO, and then everyone in the DAO decides to vote to do what with the money?
So imagine we have like an OnlyFans kind of thing, and currently you're paying like 10% or 15% of fees. And that fee is basically going into the DAO, and the DAO is responsible for governing the protocol. And those people can decide to pay for fees, or even I don't know, like lend it on Compound to pay for protocol structures and stuff like that.
All right. So I don't know if you guys all know that there was a July 2017 holding by the SEC about how a DAO is actually considered a centralized company that it can be held responsible for securities, and everybody who votes then ends up being liable. So, that part of it, you want to make sure they're not lending or, acting like an issuer and giving themselves money or issuing that money out. I mean, you can, but you will have problems, and everybody who participates in that DAO will have problems.
Okay. Well, the DAO probably would be more like protocol infrastructure stuff. So we're going to hold that money into account. Sure.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I apologize. We don't have any more time for questions. I'm so sorry, Meta. I cut you off. I just sneak in there real fast.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We got this train rolling, so we got to keep it moving. Thank you, Senna, for your presentation. All right. Up next, we have 1 second here. There we go. Sorry, things moved for me. I believe it's Ballas.
Balaz. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Yes. Welcome to the live stream. You get 5 minutes. 3 minutes, I'll give you a warning with one more, and then one more minute with the judges for Q&A after that. So are you ready to go? I've got your screen share.
Sounds good.
Great. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Balaj. I represent Unbounded Finance, and I'm with a team with Lou, Charlotte, and Hilmar. we kind of came together at the beginning of this hackathon all around the world, so we didn't know each other besides me and Hilmar. And I think we created something really, really cool. First off, we have something which we call the crypto perpetual vehicle. It's a SPAC for crypto, which means that anyone can come in, choose a token that they wish to create a SPAC for, set an expiry time, and then go ahead and create it. Now, what CPVs are, it's basically the same model as SPACs are for traditional finance. So once you create a pool, let's say it's for Ethereum, anyone can start depositing funds into that. And then anyone can come in and execute arbitrage on top of that pool. Now, why we created this CPV is because we feel like DeFi is getting more and more complex, and the plumbing behind DeFi and to really take advantage of all the arbitrage opportunities is becoming really, really difficult for beginner users. So we created CPV wherein anyone can deposit funds. They get back a token that represents their share in the pool, but at the same time, they also get back a warrant. And now the way CPV works is when someone who wants to do arbitrage using the funds pool comes in, they specify a token route and a protocol route with the amounts. And what we do is execute those transactions, those arbitrage transactions using the pool's funds. So if, again, we go back to 2,000 Ether, then someone could send 500 Ether to Uniswap, then go to Compound to take out a loan, then go to our OTC desk, which I talk about, then do that, go to the peer-to-peer trade, and in the end up with more than what you started with. And in turn, basically this whole pool gets left with the excess or the profit. And the way it works is that once pools have a duration time, and once pools expire, these warrants can be then exchanged into a share of the profits. Now, on the other side, what we also created, since Lou and Charlotte also had a passion for creating more personal peer-to-peer trades, is a way for people to come in and really fast create a peer-to-peer or an OTC trade, which you can see here. Now, the good thing is, and how it ties back to the CPV idea, is the CPV warrants are not actually ERC20 tokens, although they are tied to them. But even until, these warrants have an exercise time when the pool expires. And until that time, they can be traded similar to any other token through our peer-to-peer platform or an OTC desk. So I think what we're trying to create here is really a better environment for trading and so on. And yeah, that's what we did. We worked really hard on the front end. I think it took us, everything was handmade, so it took a while for Charlotte to get everything done, but we are pretty happy with the result. And yeah, pretty excited to get this live as soon as possible.
There's this aspect of community-run delegated arbitrage that was really interesting. I think there are 2 or 3 interesting things here, but the delegated arbitrage was really cool. We have flash loans now, so I don't know how that delegated arbitrage compares to a flash loan, but now that yeah, go ahead.
No, so I'm happy you asked, because in flash loans usually you don't need any collateral, but in this case, if you want to go to a lot of the most popular protocols for lending, you do need the collateral to take out a loan. And in this case, similar to the route I explained to you, you can go to Uniswap and then use those tokens as collateral in Compound, for example, to take out a loan in the next asset on your route. So that's how I see it fitting in.
So I see this all the time. I guess it's not that uncommon. It's pooling investment, pooling money together, and then somehow developing, ending up with some kind of profit or loss from the pooling of funds. And those are traditional securities, period. So to get them this fast up and running, you would have to make sure you found your way through that maze. What makes it different is that it's on the blockchain, and it's and the access and the transparency, right, which is what blockchain gives. But in terms of what you're actually trying to do in terms of pooling funds and doing these warrants and these other things, whether they're timed or not, they're still securities. This is just a straight up 100% straight up security. So if you can get through the SEC and the state laws on all of that, then you can have something that runs, but it won't be fast.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the good thing is it's really pure DeFi as much as pure DeFi can be, because there's no price oracles, there's no, we don't have a hand in running all of this.
Right,
so,
right, and that is also new, but it won't take away from the fact that it's structured as a pure security.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I'm sure you've thought about this, but like there are tons of problems with OTC, right? Like, and I don't want to be too harsh, but when I see that, I just think that just looks like a bad Uniswap with no automated market maker if it's just pure OTC, right? Like you're like opening the floodgates for a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think that's a fair criticism, but I think that was a lead-in because of our warrants. So warrants are priced based on when you enter into these pools, just because we don't want someone entering in the end and getting a lot of the profit share. So when you enter the pool, your warrant is priced at that moment, and when you exit, it's also priced again. So different warrants have different prices depending on when they were exercised or when they were issued. So that's why.
Sorry to interrupt, but I was asked, I know you're running out of time. I was asked in my AMA, like, startups can't afford lawyers and what can they do? And I had some ideas about it, but your project should get lawyers. You should use that money and get lawyers, because if you do it, you can be profitable, but you want to do it right. This is not something that you can find your way through without professionals in securities. That's my personal view, because I'm not speaking as on behalf of the Division of Securities or anyone else. But this one, if you want it to go, you should get people who know this.
Understood. Yeah, we'll take a look. Thank you.
Excellent advice. Awesome. Thank you very, very much for your presentation. All right. Up next, we have Garrett. Garrett, welcome to the live stream. The format is you get 5 minutes for your screen share. The first 3, I'll give you a warning, and then you get 1 more minute to wrap up, and then a minute with the judges for Q&A.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy Bowtie Friday. Let's get the show on the road. So I am Garrett from Masterfile, and today we are looking at encrypted NFTs. So in the digital art space today, pre-blockchain, this is a bigger problem. Now we have NFTs to combat this a little bit, but there's not a big functional barrier to just duplicating digital art. And NFTs in general help to solve this problem by tracing the origin of the artwork, but you can still access the underlying media there without owning the token. So that's the kind of the thing that we are trying to solve, is master files tied to both ownerships and digital rights management, enabling permission-based NFTs. So you have to own the token to be able to experience it. And this comes with lots of opportunities, some listed here. And the big one we're focusing on is permission-based NFT experiences in the art realm. And we are planning on building out the infrastructure for the digital fine arts market to begin with. And this includes, like we said, solving this problem of duplicating art. But we can also, with our unique platform, build out a viewer and a whole viewing experience where you can glimpse the different layers that make up that NFT, really see how it's created. The artist can add attachments like videos or extra things to kind of embolden that NFT, and then you can follow the provenance of who created it, who owned it, where it's been, and how it got to you. So to do this, we are using Nucypher, and this is kind of the layout of Nucypher. It's pretty technical. We'll go through it quickly. On the left here, we have Alice. She's going to encrypt some data, store it somewhere. In this case, we're using Textile. And then she's going to create a policy with Nucypher. And that policy, first on the top route, will register it on the policy manager of Nucypher. So that way it's blockchain verifiable. And then it will send out what are called key fragments or K-frags to the Ursula network. And those will allow whoever owns or whoever has the policy to re-encrypt and then decrypt the data that's being encrypted once they're granted access. And so what we wanted to do is really remove Alice from having to manage those policies. And that way, every time the token transfers, we don't have to have the original owner involved. So we replaced her with what we're calling the curator node. And that's handling all of the encryption and transferring of key fragments. And then we also placed in, we wanted to tokenize our policy. So we put in our ERC 1155 contract in the middle up here. And that way, whenever you create a policy, instead of directly calling the policy manager, you call the transfer function on our smart contract. And in that transfer function, you are revoking the old policy associated with that token, creating a new one for the new owner, and then transferring that token. And that's all completely atomic. So if one step of that fails, the token doesn't transfer, and the original person still has access. So we are going to shoot for the second half of our live demo because we have a short amount of time. So in this demo, we've already had Alice. She's minted the token. That token, or the artwork, has been encrypted, sent to our textile bucket, and she's offered this NFT for sale. So now we're in here. We're as Bob. We want to purchase this NFT, and when we click purchase, that's going to escrow our funds on the smart contract and emit an event. And our curator node is listening for that event. And when that happens, it's going to call the transfer function on our smart contract. When that transfer function completes, it will send out the new K-frags to the Ursula network that needs that to decrypt it on the back end. So we will go ahead. Ooh, got to refresh. Sorry. And oh no. Oh, didn't break. Okay, well, we already on that one. So, oh, I'm on the wrong browser. There we go. Okay, now we're Bob. Sorry about that. All right. So we are buying this NFT that escrowed our funds, emitted an event. Our curator node caught that event, transferred the function. You can see here from our demo runs earlier today. And once we open that, we're going to pull the metadata. We can see it here. Once we go to open it, we are sending a request to our curator node. And this can happen locally in the future, but that's going to pull the encrypted data. It's going to pull our C-frags that are re-encrypted by the Ursula network, allow us to decrypt the file, and boom, now we got it here. Bang, bang, boom. Any questions?
Fantastic hackathon project. This is great. Taking Nucyphers, homomorphic encryption, I don't know that much about it. Taking NFTs, putting them together. Your curator node is the thing that I'm the most scared about. And hit me up directly. Let's connect you to some cryptography nerds that could help out too, or at least audit this. It's a wonderful project.
Yeah, we've been talking to the Nucypher team all day today. They had a lot of good suggestions how we can help them take their product to the next level, integrate that, all that good jazz.
Very nice indeed. Content creators care a great deal about, theft. So this is great. Great job.
Yeah, and we have our team at Aya runs a whole community, an award-winning online community of Asian artists that are really interested in bringing this on. And that kind of what spurred us to start this up in the first place.
I do just want to give a comment on the design. I have to, if no one else was going to say, it was really, really nice design, really clean. The slides were really beautiful. So
thank you. Yeah. Oh, and this piece of artwork was created by Aya specifically during this week, during the hackathon for ETHDenver.
That even cooler.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you so much, Garrett. Really appreciate your presentation. Cheers. All right, moving right along. We are keeping this train rolling. Let's add Nifty Chess to the mix. All right, fellas, you get 5 minutes. I'll give you a sound warning at 3 minutes. You get 1 minute left, and then 1 minute for the judges for Q&A at the end. You guys ready to rock it?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, excellent. Awesome. Take it away.
Awesome. So my name is Joseph.
And I'm Patrick, and I'm from Superfluid, the new DeFi primitive for streaming money. And our hackathon project was Nifty Chess.
So you might not know this, but there's actually more possible games of chess than there are atoms in the universe. I know, I was really surprised when I heard that too. So every game of chess has the potential to be super unique and a collaborative piece of art that's really generative between two people. And as a competitive chess player, I find that incredibly beautiful. So with that in mind, we decided to create Nifty Chess, a way to save all of your unique chess games that you've ever played, and to create an NFT project that is super easy to use, really fun, and can onboard the next million crypto users.
So right now I'm exploring Joseph's profile on Lichess, and we can see here's a game that he played. So I'm just gonna grab the URL for the game, head back to Nifty Chess, click the generate button, and we are going to generate a new GIF.
So we're generating a new NFT on the XDAI chain. we've implemented the Nifty mediator, which was originally created for Nifty Inc. So these games get minted for a gas fee of less than half a cent, less than 1 cent even. They're super fast, easy to transfer, and come with a function ready to go if you want to move it to mainnet. So you can take your NFTs with you to OpenSea or anywhere else that you want. But the minting cost is really low, and you can share them with your friends super easier. So we think that will be easier to onboard people into crypto. So let's mint a game, Patrick.
Yeah, this one looks pretty good, and you won too, so that's even added bonus.
I do love winning.
All right, let's check my balance of chess. Should increase to 7 from 6.
So every block on XDAI is about 5 to 10 seconds, so it should be pretty quick.
And tell me about the colors of the board here.
Yeah, so the colors of the board is actually a reflection of the hash of all of the moves in the game. So every NFT has to be truly unique. You can't submit a game that somebody else played. It has to be something that you've come up with, that there's no other list of moves like that anywhere. And we associate this other data with the NFT, like where it was played. So that could be a physical location or online. And we're integrating this with leechess.org and chess.com APIs. So you can pull your games from any existing sources, and we can tap into all of those users, since there's 5 million chess games being played every day on Leechess, which is far more than there's any transactions on any blockchain app. So this is where the next million users of crypto is going to come from. Experiences that are unique, value adding, and at the end of the day, really fun.
Any questions?
I really like this. This is really fantastic. I don't know if I have seen something like this before, but getting chess on blockchain and in crypto, I think is going to encourage a lot of people, including kids. Like in kids' school, they have chess clubs and all. So I mean, it's kind of motivation for people who are new and they would like to not engage with very, very, technical kind of stuff, but it's very interesting. Good job.
Thank you.
I would think if you're a pro chess player, you would like to have your own secret games and strategies that you'd want to trade or sell or reveal for some value, right? I mean, there's value in that, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. Eric Rosen is one of the most popular chess streamers online with 350,000 subscribers. And he played at the end of the ETHDenver chess tournament on Sunday, actually, with Kevin Owocki, the founder of Gitcoin. So we saved this game here. We're going to airdrop it to Kevin later.
Yep.
And, we really see this chess streaming is more popular than most crypto content even. So we can say, hey, this is, a new revenue stream for content creators doing chess streaming, doing tutorials and things like that, and say, hey, you can now mint and create value and auction off your best games, your most popular games with famous people like Eric Rosen, and actually have that as a stream for revenue for content creators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
very clever.
Definitely see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very clever idea.
It's very cool.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's cool.
There was a game with Alex Botez, the famous streamer, and Vitalik. And
Yes.
I think she kind of mopped the floor with him. We
Yes.
should send that thing to Vitalik.eth. It was so great.
That's probably at the end, but yeah, we have those
You
ones
did?
minted as well because
Awesome.
we pulled them from the chess.com API. So we have that, and that's something that
Here
maybe
it
is
is.
valuable,
Here it is.
and we can remember to always be humble, because there's always somebody out there.
Even when you're a genius. Yeah, even when you're a genius, there's always
That's
someone
right.
out there that can beat you at chess.
Exactly.
That's a good lesson to keep in mind. Thank you very much, Nifty Chess, for your presentation, Patrick and Joseph. That was awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Up next, we have Belfours. Belfours, are you ready to get started for us?
Yep. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got your screen share started. You get 5 minutes. 3 minutes, you'll get a bell, and then you get 1 minute to wrap up and 1 minute with the judges, please.
Excellent. Well, I'll jump in. So our team is Xops. It includes myself, Zach Belford, and my teammate Shane Jonas. And we worked on the project called Documint. Documint, that is. And so what it is it's an IDE for the decentralized documents. And so a little background. Basically, every application has some data storage requirements, essentially. Whatever it is, it's storing something. And as a result, this decentralized and distributed data storage has been a really huge topic in the world of distributed systems. And I'd argue that it's definitely has a huge part of the future in how web applications are built. And so we figure that anything that makes this type of technology more accessible and more visible will only help to create its adoption and kind of springboard it into the way things are built. So with that, we took to the tool Ceramic pretty heavily. Ceramic lets you store documents in a decentralized way. And we saw that it was sort of missing a solid sort of user interface that lets you sort of explore documents and kind of shows off a lot of the features that Ceramic has, but also takes out of a lot of the pain of working with it. So jumping just straight into the demo, this is the app that we made. You can go to it on your computer at documint.net. And I'll explain slightly what Ceramic does as well as what our tool does at the same time, just because I know there might not be too much familiarity. So on the left here, we have basically it's a Ceramic document. And this particular Ceramic document is a JSON schema. And a JSON schema essentially defines the structure of some data. And so that's one of the types of things that you can store on Ceramic. And it has a sort of a special capability. But I'll get into that momentarily. First, I'd like to show some of the other things, which are like Ceramic has this concept of having a log of all of the changes. So you can step through and see old versions. So we have this commit history thing here on the top right. And this is just showing us a list of all of the changes that have happened to this particular schema. And so looking more, so this is the schema part, and I said that it has a special meaning inside of a Ceramic document. So we'll look at a way in which it's used. This is an example IDX profile, basic profile document. And essentially, that's what this schema is representing. And so what I'm able to do is grab the schema ID from the for the basic profile schema, and I can it's basically in here, and it loads. You can rearrange it so you can see it a little bit better. We can see here all the properties that you need for your IDX basic profile. And that's all nice, but we can also come in and edit it by connecting. And this is using the IDX self-ID system. And now we're logging in, able to prove that we own these documents, which actually allows us to then go and edit the document. Or it should. Oh, I think because I'm not the owner of this particular document, it's not letting me here. But let's see if I need this one. Oops, live demo God's hating on me. Anyways, we'll just move to the other part of the demo, which, of course, with being able to edit documents, you can also create new documents. So I'll connect. And I'll use an example, which is basically the NFT schema. So like NFT has some metadata you might want to store associated with it. So this is a schema that represents that. So I can come into my new document, this one, and pick that. Pick that to be the schema by grabbing the ID, popping it in here. And then when I come into here, now I have all these autocompletes because the schema defines all of this stuff for me. So just by pressing Control Space, I can come in and it's saying, okay, I need a name. So, you know, Foo NFT Meta or something. And I can hit Save, which will actually thankfully tell me that I'm missing some properties. Why? Because the schema defines what things are required.
Hey, Belfour, I apologize to cut you off, my friend. You're at time here. We want to save a few quick seconds here at the end for the judges.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't see any blockchain in there. I saw you were using, and that's okay. That's okay. Not a requirement, probably. You're using the wallet to sign the documents, and that signature is used for ownership. But there's really nothing on blockchain. Is that right? Or are you writing hashes to chain for ownership or something?
So Ceramic is a sort of abstraction that will store the documents on IPFS and then anchor collections of the documents onto Ethereum. Well, at the moment it's on testnet, and that lets you do like Merkle inclusion proof on that to make sure that it was saved. And it basically that's the blockchain component of it for the most part. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you so much for your presentation and your time. I really appreciate the hack that you put together.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so moving on. Up next, we have Drew. Drew, welcome to the live stream. The format here is you get 5 minutes with the judges to do your presentation. 3 minutes, I'll give you a bell, and then there'll be a 1 minute warning and 1 minute to do Q&A with the judges at the end.
Fantastic. So excited to be here. Hi, ETHDenver. I'm Drew, and my team put together this week CueCannon, which is decentralized performing arts. We're looking right now at several instances of a web app that using the Ionic platform can also be a mobile app. But that's not as easy to do a demo on. And so what we've made here is a way to make theatrical productions with less of the organizational stress. So here's an organizer putting together a production of Midsummer Night's Dream. Here is several different devices all joining in. The casting is happening automatically, trying to equitably distribute the lines as much as possible. And then when we begin the show, we send cues onto each of the people that are participating in This Is Phone. And so they cue the next actor. When their line comes up, I won't try to do an entire play in front of all of you. But this is a way to take a lot of the obstacles for accessibility to the performing arts out of the way. For example, the low effort that goes into being able to cast well and have that just fit whoever is available. Lets you just pick up a production and kind of just jump right into that. So it's much easier for the organizers, which means there will be more opportunities to engage in the performing arts for people. And then for participants, the two biggest things people are afraid of and worried about with performing arts and that keeps them out is I will forget my line, or what if I miss my cue? And we've made those just impossible. So what's also really neat about getting these all tied together is that they, by having these cues well defined within this peer-to-peer network that this group of devices is all sharing right now, we can attach other things to those cues. So in the traditional theater world right now, there are very expensive systems to attach accessibility features, for example, to describe with audio what's going on stage for someone who can't actually see that, or to give other context like that. We can attach those very easily, and we think that that's a way to engage more people in the cultural exchange of performing arts, and that also extends to an opportunity. And we think this could be a powerful tool in the classroom for getting people engaged with dramatic texts and cultural content there, even if they don't have the background that usually, there's a lot of funding that goes into a school arts program. And so hopefully this makes it easier to bring that about in that classroom. And for teachers, and then also by working on an open network and platform for sharing scripts and sharing these ideas, that could be great for lesson planning. And then it'd be easy to build in something that, will read someone's line to them. If they're not able to see the line, it could do some text to speech so that someone who's blind could also participate in that production. And then by just getting more people involved on both sides of these performing arts, we think that's just a boon for society to be able to have, the arts are a big place where a lot of discourse happens, a lot of culture is preserved by having notes and production notes and a lot of the context around productions handed down. We think that's a really way to enrich some culture there that would be a real treasure trove to have available to people and grow a global theater exchange around this decentralized platform. Any questions? I think that's really what I wanted to get at first.
I think it's really cool. I was laughing at the idea of randomly selecting roles. And at first I was going to say, maybe that's not the best way to cast a play. I'm like, actually, that sounds like a really great way to cast, especially like a community play that takes all of the competition out, maybe like forces someone who's shy into a bigger role, something like that. So actually pretty heartwarming. I'm curious, can you elaborate a little bit on how those addresses attach to each of those sessions, right? I saw like what looked like public keys when you assigned those roles.
They're hashes of public keys. I'm using libp2p, which is Protocol Labs thing. So this is the identifier within their PRIDs.
Thank you.
How about letting me throw some Rose NFTs on stage at the end? Like Rose NFTs, right?
Oh, that would be great. Mm-hmm.
So it's a really good project. But considering the understanding and adoption of the blockchain, how do you see the adoption of this into the mainstream?
I think that it's really engaging. I think the judges who got to demo this with us today had a lot of fun and were surprised by how much fun they had with this. One of the members of our team talks about how he's never been exposed to really performing arts, but really has enjoyed, and I've seen him grow in his performances and get bolder because we created a space where you can kind of have this kind of fun. And so I think that could onboard people that aren't in the performing arts as much, and then with that momentum, we could attach to networks to incentivize more and more public arts.
So can I ask you, why blockchain? What about the blockchain instead of?
It's not a necessary part, especially for just the piece that I just showed there, but it does make a lot of things easier. It would make, for example, an incentive structure that helps pay for people to come up with good content here easier to build, especially if you wanted that maybe to be attached to how many people are performing your shows or not tied to a company as much as it is to an open market.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much, Drew, for your presentation.
Thank you all.
All right. Cool. All right. Moving right along, keeping the show rolling. We have Ron Stoner up next. Ron, welcome to the live stream.
Nice.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Format is you get 5 minutes for the judges. Being at 3 minutes, 1 minute left at the end for questions and answers, please. Take it away.
Cool. So my name is Ron Stoner, and I am part of Team Badge. And we wanted to work on a kind of fun hardware project because I don't see enough hardware projects at Hackathon. So I wanted to kind of represent this year. And we started with asking a question. I attend a lot of conferences and hackathons. And when you start to go to the hacker-based ones, they have some really cool conference badges where they're doing custom printed circuit boards, PCBs, with bling like LED lights or screens or different functions. So we asked the question, why not ETHDenver? So we came up with a badge proof of concept. This is a proof of concept software stack and hardware to kind of show the possibilities of what we can do and get people excited. So we POC'd this on a full profile Raspberry Pi using a 2.8-inch TFT screen. There is some touchscreen functionality in this that we did not get through the demo, but these screens do have a lot of capabilities. And then the badge has 4 physical push buttons and can also run offline or online, depending if we put in Wi-Fi or a system on a chip with a Wi-Fi receiver. We built this using Python, EagleCAD for the PCB design, Explorer for some online API calls. There's some FIO integration, and then the hardware is done through Adafruit Industries. So the first view here on button 1 is going to be an attendee view. This is the conference badge. And this is all encapsulated in JSON data that could be preloaded onto the badge or it could be generated on the fly. And this is programmatically generating these images. These are not static images. So we can do styling, we could do graphics, we can add whatever we want here. But it's pulling all the information and it's got a QR code of one of my ETH addresses. When you press the button again, we switch to FEO view. So if people prefer FEO or want to use their FEO address, conference attendees can now scan that off each other's badge, and they have an easy way to transmit that information. This also ties into visiting vendors and getting NFTs and proof of attendance protocol. So it makes it an easy, cool process actually on a physical hardware badge. Button 2 is going to give us a pseudo layout of a sports castle map. So instead of giving a paper map to attendees, let's load it right on the badge. And we can do some really neat things. So in offline mode, we have this badge, but in online mode, we can put readers around the network and around the conference, Wi-Fi readers or RFID. And we could really heat map in real time, like, where's everybody at? What is the popular exhibits? What are not? What's the wait time on the bathroom? Let's hack an ETA for the bathroom timer. That would be awesome. Pressing the button again gives us a regional map, so we can start to travel around locations outside of the conference center. And this is interesting. We have a pseudo GPS enhancement we identified where we could do Wi-Fi triangulation without actually having to have network connectivity to kind of pinpoint and give a pseudo GPS in real time on the map box here. But this is great for scavenger hunts, beer hunts, those types of things. And this ties directly into that. We've started to make advertisement cards for local businesses. So they could do advertisements, sponsorships, give free 50 NFTs to the first visitors, those types of things. We can even put food truck menus on here for the day. And then lastly, we identified there's a system here where if we do readers in the conference center, the badges could check in if people do want to connect to the network, and we could push-pull announcement cards for things going on with the conference. And then lastly, we added an NFT viewer screensaver mode. So when I boot the badge up, it goes through ETHPlur API and grabs pictures of my NFT tokens based off the token metadata. And now I can write screensavers, I can show my bling. Maybe I want to replay a copy of my Nifty Chess game that I did awesome at. We should be able to do all those things on the screen. So we had a video demo here. I'm going to jump around a little bit just for the sake of time. And this is booting up currently. It runs a Linux kernel, but we can reduce that system footprint as we optimize and take things down over time. And right now, this is going out through ETHPlur, and it's grabbing all my NFT images. So we start to cycle through some of the views just to show them happening on the badge itself and highlighting some of the features of the physical buttons. So we can see that this all actually does work on real hardware. I actually had it here with me as a faithful conference attendee. I've been using my virtual badge all day. And then we see the business advertisements where we start to do integration with that. So it's a really interesting kind of concept, but where can we go from here? So in 2010, I did a badge for the 2600 Hacker Conference, and we did the heat mapping. And for privacy purposes, we abstracted the user information and we gave them number IDs. But it was really cool because we opened up the data set to the hackers, and as part of the hackathon, they built visualizations and games and social networks and all kinds of ways that you could integrate with this data set that we were triangulating people's positions. This is the DEF CON 26 badge, and this had a game, serial console game. It had things like flipping a chip, attaching a magnet, and it had lights that would light up based off of achievements, so you can gamify it. And then in a pie in the sky scenario, you could use this for hardware wallets, but we thought about that. There's a lot of security considerations that would need to be done with a secure enclave. And then there's also the concern of what are we transacting? Is it a security? Those types of things.
Great. Let's take some questions in the last 30 seconds, please.
A quick comment. Scavenger hunt will be fun for next DEF CON. The project is really cool.
Yes, so we're actually laying a challenge down to ETHDenver, the community, the hackers, the builders. We want to see a physical ETHDenver hardware badge for the 2022 conference, and I would love to help and get that moving any way I can.
Device cost, can we do it for $5?
So you can do it for cheap if you scale down and do the system on the chips with Wi-Fi, but there's also things where if you're a donator or you're a speaker, you can do different flavor badges where you can auction them off. So there is ways where you can collect funds for people that are interested in maybe the Uber badge version as opposed to just a regular attendee, and help spread out some of those costs.
I just want to applaud you for doing a hardware project at a virtual hackathon. Way to go. Awesome.
Yeah, that's really terrific.
Awesome.
From a sustainability perspective, it'd be wonderful if you could reuse the badges, right, instead of tossing them out.
Yeah, so that's actually part of the hackathon stuff. People can reuse these, and that can be part of their hackathon project. We don't have that category. And like, you can use an e-ink screen, and then it gets down to this size. This is a system on a chip on a Lego PCB. So like, we can really do some cool stuff with that.
Cool. Excellent.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Ron. I really appreciate your presentation. Up next, we have Victoria. Victoria, welcome to the live stream. You have 5 minutes. So
hi there.
Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, so hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Victoria. I'm here together with TruCol. We're from the Netherlands. Super thankful to be here and participate this week in the ETHDenver. So yeah, we experienced that we did not always have the time or skill set for specific coding work ourselves when setting up a company or working on bigger coding projects. So we thought that setting out bounties would provide a great solution for this. However, existing systems require an often costly middleman and a modicum of trust between all parties. So that is why we decided to set out or to develop a decentralized, trustless collaboration platform and protocol for test-driven programming development. Utilizing a bounty-based system through Ethereum smart contracts, we hope to contribute to the programming job market by providing developers the opportunity to contribute, regardless of their geosocial circumstances, gender, or ethnicity. This way, we also contribute to UN goal number 8 by promoting an inclusive, fair, and accessible work for all. So let's walk through our proposed protocol. The employer encounters a problem that they want to be solved. For example, they may be looking to optimize an algorithm for planning schedules in our company. They then create a smart contract that can only be fulfilled if their algorithmic requirements are met. The bounty hunter, this guy over here, finds the test specification in the smart contract and works on a solution. When the solution passes the test requirements in the sponsor's contract, the smart contract pays out the bounty and the sponsor receives the solution. So let's have a look at a little demo of what the proposed workflow would look like. Well, I'll tell you some more about the various implementations, the various possible implementations of this protocol. Yeah, so various implementations all have their pros and cons. Lots of cons concerning safety and encryption and gaming of the system can be alleviated by allowing the user, the employer, to choose modern blockchain technologies such as the Chainlink or Teller oracles. Furthermore, by expanding the chain of trust slightly to GitHub and continuous integration, we may also allow the users to choose to sacrifice a bit of the decentralization to facilitate usage of all programming languages and not only Solidity in the smart contracts. This is paired with significantly reduced costs because, as you know, gas is expensive, while still facilitating mutually trustless development. Thus, the presented protocol has the potential to increase the market efficiency of new and existing developer bounty programs. This potential is realized by eliminating the need for trust between sponsors and bounty hunters, allowing the middleman to be eliminated from a transactional chain. So that way, we think that this protocol creates a free and fair developer market that enables a thriving community of development, which can positively stimulate growth of experience and knowledge. So yeah, we will be very glad to hear your questions. Yeah, thank you.
There's always a problem with being able to verify computation that happened off-chain, on-chain. At first, you talked about like it would be like algorithmically proved within the Solidity, so you had to basically make it work within the Solidity, and then you could prove it on-chain perfectly. But then you brought in the Chainlink oracles, and that sort of just turns it into an oracled bounty system.
Yes, I see what you mean. So yeah, I talked about two specific implementations, right? So in the first one, the test would be on-chain in the smart contract, right? And to prevent the gaming, the oracle would only provide the verified randomization so that it cannot be hard-coded, the solutions. And in the second option, what I talked about with Git and taking it kind of off-chain, let's see. Sorry, what was the question again?
Just thinking about like if I had a video compression algorithm and I wanted to pay someone, you know, $1 million to turn that into make this video compression algorithm 20% better, and I'll pay you money. You can't you can't prove that on chain. You're going to have an oracle to do that because the computation that can happen in that smart contract is pretty minimal and expensive.
Yes, I understand what you mean. Yeah, so okay, maybe then I would say that not every problem is suitable for this protocol yet so far. So indeed, we would like to expand, but not all problems are best solved this way, especially not on-chain. Yeah, that's correct. So it would be like, for example, MP problems. Yeah, it could be possible. Yeah, but like, or develop an interface for me, for example, that would definitely not work in this kind of situation. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Victoria, for your presentation. That was wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. All right. Up next, we have Luell. Luell, welcome to the live stream. Are you ready for your 5 minutes?
Yes. Can I start now?
Excellent. Take it away.
So hi, everyone, and welcome, distinguished judges. I'm Lowell, and together with Yusung and Brent, our team DIGID. So you can actually access the app by going to www.mydigid.site. So this is actually a case of Andrew Smith, who is applying for college, and he forgot the hard copy of his transcript. What he has right now is the digital copy. So currently, the infrastructure does not allow this. In fact, what Andrew has to do is he has to go back to his previous school to get the hard copy, precisely because the system is not secure enough and there's high incidence of fraud. This is where DIGID comes in. DIGID is a platform based on the Ceramic Network, which makes use of Portis, IPFS, and React, where students can share their certificates and transcript to their respective universities or institutions. And at the same time, these universities and institutions are also able to issue certificates for their students in a secure manner, especially right now that we are in the midst of a pandemic. So what's happening here is that the hash is actually stored in the Ceramic Network while the image is stored in the IPFS. So I'm going to play you now the process of going through the app. And bear in mind that this actually, so initially we start with the school wallet. So this is the school that's issuing the transcript to the student. So this is the wallet address of the school. The school signs in to the wallet. So you can sign in either from MetaMask or Portis. So we're going with MetaMask. And sign in. So it's going to create a digital identity if the school, for example, does not have one yet. So this is the profile, and here's the file. And then let's say, for example, the school wants to issue a transcript or a certificate to the student. So what the school does is enter the digital ID of the student. So this is the student's digital ID. And let's just say it's an award, for example. And then upload the certificate. And then click create. So the image here will be uploaded to the IPFS while the hash is stored at Ceramic Network. So now both the school and the student will now have a copy of the transcript. So this is now the copy of the transcript. So we are going to log on now to the students section. So the student's wallet address, sign in. So this is the digital identity. So what the student is going to do is get the wallet of or the address of the school, and click to get the copy of the transcript. And then, yeah, so this is now the copy of the transcript where the student that was issued by the school or the university. So, yes.
So
I'm open for questions.
So I have a quick question. How different this project is from the MIT project? I believe it started for the block certs, the digital certificates for universities and college, and what new features people can find it over here in this project?
So yeah, I'm actually familiar with some of the MIT projects, but one of the things that we add, that's why I emphasize Portis here, because one of the future plans is actually to integrate it to the cryptocurrency. So if in the future we plan to, because right now we have various accredited third party, right, that the student actually pays and the school actually also pays. So what happens is that that process takes a long time. because of course they have to get the original copy and everything. So what we hopefully do is we are going to integrate it actually also with cryptocurrency, so that we can actually also charge students through via cryptocurrency.
Another interesting domain that this could apply to, the exact same pattern, is something I'm having trouble with, which right now is getting my W-2, right? So you could have people who have changed or worked with multiple companies getting all of these tax documents. It would be so nice if they were all in one place, which leads me to my actual question, which is, does the school create an actual account on behalf of the user? I didn't understand that piece of it. Do they actually create an address for them?
No, the school has their own wallet or their own address that's separate from the user.
And the student would then have to create their own address, submit
Yes.
it to the school, and then they would associate the data? Okay, that
Yes.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is like a really good fit for any kind of institutional transfer of knowledge, right? Like you change jobs, you've got all of these documents you're always going to need, but like ADP is not the best at that. Anyways, interesting.
I think it's just bullish for Ethereum that a developer can pull, Ceramic and all these other tools off the shelf and just put something like this system together and present it. So good job, good hackathon project.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Lou. That's fantastic. All right, moving along, we have Clemens. Welcome to the live stream. Are you
Hi,
ready for
guys.
your 5 minutes?
Yep. Can you hear me well?
Can hear and see you, so take it away.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So I'm pretty happy to present you my project called Yogen or Yogen. You can say the name the way you want. So the idea behind this DApp is to allow people to create future swaps. So what are future swaps? So the name is giving you like a pretty obvious hint. It's a swap that is going to be scheduled to happen at a very specific date, at a very specific execution time. So yeah, I'm just going to go through the demo because the concept is very obvious. So the first thing, obviously, you have to log in through your wallet. So you can use MetaMask, Wallet Connect, Portis, or anything else that can be added. And the interface is a little bit like Uniswap. Actually, you select one token. For example, I want to swap Aave against, for example, Comp. And I'm going to say that I want maybe to swap 100 Aave tokens. And what is going to be fetched is like we got the information, the current price, the current market price from 1inch. And this is giving us, so as I said, the current market price. And we are very bullish on Comp. And we think that if today we have almost like a 1-to-1 rate, maybe in, I don't know, 3 months, so we can schedule our swap in 3 months. Maybe this rate would be different, and 100 Aave tokens can only get us like 50 Comp tokens. So what we are going to do is that we are going to schedule a call at almost the current market rate. And what will happen is that on the execution date, well, this swap will happen no matter what. And so we would be very happy because we will be buying Comp token at a cheaper price, like almost like 50% discount from the current market. The opposite way could also happen. We can buy like 2 times more expensive price than the actual market. But that's the possibility about this, the speculation feature about this project. So the other thing about it is that it's not an automated market maker. So what we create actually here is a proposal. We are not locking all the tokens right away. We have to create a proposal and we have to specify an expiry date, for example, in 2 weeks. And this allows us to have a way to be prepared against people looking for pretty like interesting proposals and trying to cheat and game the system. So we are going to create this proposal, and actually we are going to sign a meta transaction. So, okay, it's a bit long. Yeah, okay. So we are going to sign a meta transaction, and I've been watching actually Austin before about that. So yeah, once the proposal has been signed, we can see here all the proposals. So here we are on the other side of the market. So instead of a proposal creator, we are like the counterparty. So someone that is going to be bullish about the other token or bearish about the token of the proposal creator. And we can check like very quickly if there is like one rate that we can think that is going to be very positive for us. And we can see the delivery date here, the date where the proposal will expire, and then we can just select whatever proposal we want. And what is going to happen is that both token amounts, so for example here the AVE and the comp, both amounts will be locked into the smart contract. So we are sure that the future swap will happen and no one will run away with the tokens. And also each side, each party of the proposal, of the future swap, is going to receive an NFT token that represents the side on the position. So for example, if I want to exit early, if my future swap is already like in a very good shape, I'm already making benefits, even if it's not like the execution date, I can execute the contract because I have to wait for this date, the delivery date. So I can sell my NFT to someone else, and then I will exit this position and I will cash out my benefit, and someone else is just going to keep on, having this future swap in the future. And the opposite way can also work. I can sell if I am at loss to limit my risks.
Let's get some questions for the last 20 seconds. I apologize, we're short on time.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so it's a commodity, and what you'd be doing is a commodity exchange. So CFTC, if the tokens that you're swapping are securities, then you'd also have regulation under the SEC. Again, with all of these, you can't not do it. It's just that you have to make sure you're complying with all those things because you don't want to get in trouble. So CFTC.
Excellent.
Probably.
How'd you do your front end? How'd you do your front end? Did you fork somebody? React? I know
No,
you built it all yourself.
Yeah, exactly. React and everything is from scratch.
Let's hang out.
Sure.
Cool. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Have a great one. All right. Up next, we have Bill Smith. Bill, welcome to the live stream.
Hello,
You ready for your 5 minutes?
I am ready. I'm ready.
All right. Take it away.
Cool. So yeah, it's so cool to be able to present alongside like all these brilliant projects I've been watching. Like, it's so impressive, and to be here presenting on the same stream is just awesome. I would love a hardware wallet next year. Just saying. So yeah, this is Freefund. We basically started with the idea of creating a crypto-based Kickstarter alternative, primarily based around stablecoins, just because it's better for people to get, non-volatile coins, we think. So yeah, it accepts crypto, and we would be not taking any fees from the creators for their projects. So platforms at the moment like Kickstarter can take between 5 and 10% of the amount raised, which is not very good for the creators. So yeah, this is our little landing page. Oh, I don't seem to be able to scroll. Sorry, 1 second. That's interesting. Let's reload the page. But yeah, so the kind of key innovation, there we go. The key innovation is basically that when a project is fully funded, it kind of creates like a mini DAO where to pull any of the money out of the project, the creator would have to submit a proposal to the people that funded the project, and this gives for a specific purpose. They have to state the reason they want this amount of money, and then they will go away and use that money and build the project. But the people who funded it can veto these proposals if they don't feel like it's a good use of money for the project. So they have some level of recourse and control over their finances. And this is a problem with Kickstarter. You see a lot of the times projects are funded and then just nothing comes of it. So we're trying to deal with that problem using DAOs. So for a quick demonstration, I'm just going to connect my wallet up. hopefully that'll make a bit more sense when I show everything off. So this is just our account information page. You can add all your stuff. This is required if you're going to create a project, but maybe not if you're going to just contribute to one. So yeah, and this is just like the UI for creating a new project. So when you're writing your description, it supports Markdown, so you can make it nice and pretty, and you can set your kind of reward tiers. So if someone funds a certain amount, they can receive a certain reward, and then you can upload some images to display it and set an end for the funding period. But that's just forms. It's not that interesting. The fun bit is this. So these are the projects we've got up here at the moment. So there's lots of different stuff to see here. If we look at someone else's project, say this Sport Marmot Sanctuary, somewhere to go when they're old, you know, and they need somewhere to stay that's safe. We say, okay, well, I want to fund this at like the 200 DAI level. Let's go crazy. You know, we can see our balance there, and we're gonna fund this project. We confirm that. Hopefully this is going to quick, so I can hear that bell going.
I feel like I should just ask.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
How'd you do your UI?
In React, and we just built it from the ground up with no framework or anything. And yeah, so this is the primary thing. So this is the funding DAO. So this is a project that we've funded already, and we can see they've created a proposal for lenses. They need lenses for their Ethereum sunglasses because the future of Ethereum is so bright. They need sunglasses. So we can veto that if we don't think it's a good use of money. Or if we go on a project we have created, we could submit a proposal to our community that's been fully funded for however much DAI and for whatever reason. So this is for a magical serum. So we'd need, I don't know, some like bottles, I don't know. And then we just describe what we need that for. And then, yeah, they have 48 hours to veto that proposal. And if that time goes through, then we can pull those funds and use them for our project. Yeah, that's basically it. I'd appreciate any questions.
I always love ideas around funding because many of talents are not able to be finishing up with the end project and lack of funds. Anything related to fundraising is always cool. I saw CLR.fund last DevCon, if I'm not mistaken. Now we are using it. So good job with the project, and I hope that people start adopting it very soon.
Thanks.
I think one of the problems that you have an opportunity to solve is closing that loop, right? So like you said in Kickstarter, you don't necessarily deliver on their promises. I think building a reputation system around there for people that do consistently deliver on their proposals is really important. Otherwise, you're basically substituting fiat for crypto, right? You really haven't closed the loop in terms of delivering on the promise, right? So I think building a reputation system in there is going to be really key, and potentially even making those reputations immutable.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear. So with the DAO, it decides where the money goes. But if those projects make money, the money doesn't come back to the DAO. Is that right? Okay.
No, it's strictly so that the people that funded the project can sort of hold the creator to account to make sure they're spending the money that they gave them in a suitable way. Basically,
okay, that's great.
So
that DAO, just based on those facts, that would not be a security. So that's great.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill. That was really a great presentation.
Thanks very much.
Excellent. All right. Coming up next, we have Hardik. Welcome to the live stream, Hardik. Are you ready for your 5 minutes?
Absolutely.
All right. Take it away. It starts now.
Hello, everyone. So first of all, thank you so much for hosting ETHDenver. We had a lot of fun this week. So even in this presentation, we saw some really great projects today doing with NFTs, using NFTs to buy items in a game, or NFTs for fine arts and ownership, and even winning NFTs in the virtual castle earlier. But as a non-technical person myself, it's really hard to go through dumps of Etherscan or browse through 50 different marketplaces to figure out what a certain NFT might be worth or should be worth. So if I want to buy an NFT that's being resold by someone else, or if somebody offers me one NFT for a different one of mine, or if I want to take out a loan backed by NFTs, I need to be knowledgeable about what it's actually worth. So non-blockchain games, if you're familiar with Counter-Strike or Team Fortress 2, have already solved this problem for in-game items using community-based price guides. So websites like backpack.tf over here they allow the community to create price suggestions by submitting the research. So they submit a bunch of research saying this certain item sold for X and then Y and then Z. And according to me, the price should be bumped up from 16 to 17. And then the community does some negotiation. They have a comment section to negotiate, and the community votes on it. If there's over 50% people vote yes, then the price gets reflected and the proposal passes. So taking inspiration from this, we built a fully decentralized peer-reviewed NFT price guide. So it's backed by a DAO. We use Moloch DAO. And since our voting period takes a few minutes itself, I'm just going to go through 2x speed on our video demo. So essentially what happens is a user would come by and they would start off by submitting a proposal. So we currently support CryptoPunks. So you enter the ID and you enter some research as to why you think it should be worth the price you're suggesting. So I think it should be worth 10 ETH because it sold for 10 ETH a few days ago. So the proposal gets submitted to our DAO and we sponsor that proposal. While that proposal is being submitted, like after this proposal is submitted, it shows up as an active proposal on the website, and all users of the website can go check it out and read the research that's existing over there. And in our DAO house, we can see that the proposal was actually submitted and voting would begin soon. So you can add comments saying like, looks good to me, I'll vote it up. So the vote transaction goes through, and a different user from a different MetaMask instance over here can also go to the same proposal and be like, looks good to me too, and I'll vote it up as well. So we have one yes vote so far. The second transaction is still going through. Okay, so we have 2 yes votes now, and we'll see on DAO House that the vote is currently passing. We just gotta wait a minute for the voting period to end. So after the voting period ends, we process that proposal, and the suggester, the person who suggested this price, gains some reputation in the form of a community token. So we reward them for creating a suggestion that passed, and that reputation can be used to limit who other websites trust. So like NFT Finance, for example, gives out NFT-backed loans. So they may only want to trust prices of NFTs that come from people with high reputations. So they know that it's not rigged or anything like that. And after it's done, we wrote a custom minion contract for our DAO, which updates the price of that specific NFT in our contract. So no user can just go and call update price on it. It needs to be coming from the DAO, and it needs to happen automatically. And after that, it starts showing up in our price tracker over here, where you can then filter by the ID of whatever CryptoPunk you're looking for. So I believe rare NFTs in the future will end up being like limited edition Louis Vuitton drops. So we really need to create awareness about what they're actually worth, so people who are non-technical or don't want to browse 50 different websites can actually understand what they're worth and be usable by them. And I'll take any questions now.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to suggest sneakers, but you called that Louis Vuitton. So I mean, it sounds like you thought in that direction.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that initially I wasn't happy that it is not related to tea, but happy to see that it is actually addressing different versions of NFTs, like what should be the price, just like the different flavors of tea. So good job.
So
absolutely.
I just want to make sure I understand. So this is like a platform where you could crypto kitties or other doggo kitty, crypto doggies or whatever, you could just get a bunch of them. And you're not doing it because you're buying it and promising that these will go up. They're just to buy it like crypto kitties, just so you can have them and they might become rare and something cool that you want to hold forever or something like that.
So,
right?
So you don't even need to hold them. So as a community, if you have a rare NFT or if there's a certain NFT that hasn't been traded in a while, for example, or because of cultural shifts in the community, or because of pure speculation as well, it's possible that prices of certain NFTs go up and down. But as a person who doesn't understand NFTs or doesn't want to go through like dumps of Etherscan to figure out what they last sold for in the past, figuring out what they're actually worth is really hard. So this website acts as sort of a guide as to this is roughly what it's worth. And so if you receive NFT offers or you want to take out loans backed by NFTs, this price guide can help enable those use cases
great.
what they're worth.
Excellent,
so
excellent.
you're providing the guide. You're not actually providing the exchange, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right, we've got John back. Thank you very much, Hardik. I really appreciate your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back, John. Take it away for the final segments.
What the? You guys hear that?
Oh, hey, John.
Well, dude, what are you doing?
I just hovered on in. It's a little bit chilly here in Denver today. I think it's about 10 degrees. So just,
where are you going?
I'm going wherever the sport market's going.
Well, he's going to the after party.
Well, then I'm going to party too.
Okay, well, make sure you're in the virtual castle. Are you?
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Is this your avatar?
It
The headless ski bum?
The headless ski bum, yes. Hello, Ethereans, and congratulations to everybody that's been hacking.
Yeah, come in. Say your goodbyes, man. This is it.
Until next year.
Until next year. Yeah. So we have a couple more things just to wrap up before we get going. First, I just want to say, judges, wonderful engagement, wonderful job. We're very grateful for you, all-stars and all-stars and rock stars for hanging in there for rapid speed pitches. Amazing. So, insightful questions like one after another. It was great. So thank you so much for your contribution. Community, if you're going to contribute and sort of participate in the Quadratic Funding, it's open until 5:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's in like 2 minutes.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Hurry up and get over there. That's ETHDenver.clr.fund and vote on your favorite projects. Alec, sprinkle a little magic internet money if you want. Go do your thing. And I'm going to pass it from here to Russell Casagnero from the state of Colorado to talk about ColoradoJam. We're going to announce the Greenfield Pitches winners. And then we're going to basically get to a point where we're going to kind of start signing off here and go have a little bit of fun. So, Russell.
Go Colorado.
Thank you. Does all the voting, does it have to like actually get confirmed and stuff, or does it just?
It's on
chain, so it has to be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's XDAI, so it confirms.
So
like,
yeah,
super
we can't
fast.
really stop it. So like, make it happen. Go vote.
Cool. And I just want to say for all the people that pitched, like Tung has actually like ripped apart more than 1,000 of my good ideas, I thought. So it's actually a really high compliment to have her show you how your business plan will fail ultimately. So, so thanks. What's that? No?
No, I'm not telling them they're going to fail. I'm just trying to point out obstacles that they can get over so that they can succeed.
No, I'm just saying talking to you is like getting past 1,000 no's. Like it's all right. You don't have to, I didn't have to fail myself all those 1,000 times. I could just go straight to, something that had a much better chance. That's like, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
At any rate, I think that ETHDenver and ColoradoJam has been absolutely amazing. The content, the castle, the music, the art. I think everybody I know had their minds totally blown because we didn't know that this kind of a virtual event could even happen. It's something we'd heard about. Maybe you're like a Stevenson fan and you sort of knew that this was possible, but it's now much closer to reality than anybody knew. I really love the Minecraft tournament, and I also had no idea that Governor Polis was such an amazing gamer, and he drew fire like nobody's business. I've just never seen that happen in gaming, but it was pretty cool. I want to talk about the hackathon first. We had some cool stuff out there, and I just want to get through all the winners of that. We had the CDA Fund Finder, and this was a way for for people in Colorado to find great places to enjoy alcohol. And it could be, I think they even expanded it to finding dispensaries too, which was really cool. But so the two winners of that, and one other thing is most of our winners were actually already pitched in front of you. So these names you'll find very familiar. Two's Compliment and ColoradoJam were the two winners of the CDA Fund Finder. The other one was My Colorado, the 5-star program. And the 5-star program is funded by the state, but administered by the counties to find establishments that have really, really high health standards. In other words, they're above and beyond what you normally have to do for COVID or something like that. And Two's Complement, there were, I think, 4 bounties for it. Two's Complement did such a good job in finding an alternate way to basically crowdsource the reporting on all these folks that we gave them the entire 4 awards. So they won all of it on that one. It was a clean sweep. We also had one that was for proof of licensing. So we're coming out with, within My Colorado, the app, you'll be able to do your fishing licensing. If you work in the cannabis or liquor or gaming industry, you'll be able to do your licensing on that as well. But we wanted an independent blockchain-based verifiable way of using that. And we had two projects that did that really well. One was, I think it's called Pub Creek. Is that, I think that's the name. I wasn't quite sure. And then the other one was DK. They both had solutions that did that. We did have a pretty extensive one on check-ins. So this was for My Colorado, allowing people to do what we call the non-social check-in. So they didn't have to use any network. They could share their information that they chose to share, just limited attributes directly with the place, the business, or the agency. So instead of writing your name on the book, you just scan a QR code or wirelessly send that information in. Two's Complement and DK won those. We had one for the signing of petitions leveraging blockchain technology, and that one was won by 3. So ColordoDAO won the first place, and then All-in-One IDX and DIGID won the next spots. We had one bounty that was for Multiply. In other words, that was for any integration with My Colorado for onboarding and any other system. And so Team Badge, who you already saw here, I think Ron presented, All-in-One IDX, DIGID, and ColordoDAO. And then Two's Complement had 2 different integrations. So we awarded all of them bounties. We had a Web3 version of transcripts, which CDPHE was really excited about. And that was from DIGID and ColordoDAO. And then finally, the Universal Wallet. So implementing a Universal Wallet version of My Colorado's wallet. And that went to Two's Complement, another sweep for them, where we thought they did a great job. The judges, we were all so impressed that we also, since we had some bounties that didn't have any viable winners, we decided to award the overall My Colorado track winner to Two's Complement with a $1,000 bonus as well. So great job, Two's Complement. We also made a note to recommend that, and this is before we knew that they were presenting to you, that Two's Complement in Colorado apply for application into the ColoradoJam incubator, because we really thought what they were working on was worthwhile, and we had a lot of jaws drop when we were in that. So that was really exciting. And one last special note was there was a team called Digenetics, and we thought that we didn't really have a use case for them that we were trying, but a lot of us have worked in the COVID space coming up with solutions, and we thought that they had some great solutions, and they're worth a second look if anybody's interested in, especially for test results and things like that. So amazing. Everybody from the state was really happy about the participation that we got with the hackathon. The next was the greenfield pitches, and these were these really big ideas, some that doesn't really fit or is appropriate for a hackathon, but that is much more larger and facilitating societal change. So we wanted to hear what solutions to these big problems the community could provide, and we had, I think, 14 of the ideas, and you can go to ETHDenver.com/ColoradoJam and see which ones they were. You can actually still submit if you still have good ideas. We're still collecting those. We received 41 pitches, and they ranged from like big ideas in the total concept phase to actually full-fledged products. And on Monday evening, 10 teams were able to pitch that. There was Certo, Gitcoin, Clean Colorado Coin, GamerJibe, PEO for individuals, otherwise known as Opolis, Operation Greenlight, TrueBit, Arcology Builders, Halcyon X, and Whirl. Certo and Gitcoin tied for first place with really, really strong presentations. And GamerJibe, which you might know is the platform that all of us have been talking to each other across all week, was in third place. So amazing job done by all those. And we will have those presentation videos up on the ColoradoJam site soon. So keep on sending up ideas if you've got them. So last thing, as Governor Polis announced on Monday and John announced earlier today, the ColoradoJam Incubator's first cohort is going to be evaluated and invited mostly from the ETHDenver hackathon and the Greenfield submissions. So this is going to be a great opportunity for your teams to get set up with funding, resources, some partnerships with the amazing sponsors that we have here and others, and maybe even the first great customer, the state of Colorado. So I wish you all luck. I really appreciate everyone for their participation. I really appreciate the judges, and thank you, John, especially in the ETHDenver Foundation, for working with the state of Colorado to get this thing done, man.
We wouldn't have it any other way, man. We appreciate you. All right. Well, I mean, we're coming to the end of our programming. Judges and honorary judge, honorary Griffith judge. We have it looks like we have a Gwei. It's a Gwei sighting. So if you didn't catch it earlier, the ETHDenver 2022 installment is the year of the Gwei, which basically means, remember, getting back to our roots, the sort of youth of our learning and all of that. So I can only imagine the multiplication of insane intelligence that's going to come out of that little mini Griffith right there. But we will see, maybe in 15 years, we'll see that in particular individual at the hackathon, Austin. Maybe sooner.
You better have a lot of food.
We do always. Food trucks, burner wallets.
That's right. I'll have to drop him an extra meal or two.
All right, so we're just going to kill a little bit of time until the tabulations are ready. So what we're waiting for, everybody, is we're just waiting for the quadratic funding to kind of round out, make sure that we've got all the tallies correct. So we've got Auryn and Wilson and Justin working literally feverishly. I wonder, and hopefully we've got the EMS on speed dial for them. So hopefully they don't keel. They've been at this since we were at it until about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then again at 5 o'clock this morning. So remember, it's the most masochistic day of our lives, and we love it. So we're gonna just keep going. Any initial thoughts or shares that the judge panel wants to put up here?
I mean, just what an amazing batch of projects. This is, and I'm not just saying that. These are really impressive. I've judged previous hackathons before. I won't name names, but these were all really impressive. They were great.
Anyone in particular that stood out to you?
I mean, yeah, several. I mean, like I said earlier, just the ones related to identity, I think are really exciting. The very first one that came out of the gate was doing a whole lot, and it feels like a long time ago at this point, right, with the corgi animations. But that one was really, really cool. DIGID, I think, has a lot of potential. The concept behind it has a lot of potential because of this whole transference from institution to person. I think it's really exciting. So yeah, but I mean, that's just a few. There's lots of them that are really, really cool. Oh, hardware badges, please. Let's make this a thing.
Actually, I don't know if you guys, so in the Twitch, I'm actually Buffcorn Soldier. That's my handle in Twitch. And I actually said, yes, please. Let's do that. So we've always been big fans of experimentation with attendance, proof of attendance. I mean, POAP was founded at ETHDenver 2019. We actually printed unique QR codes for burner wallets on people's badges with, we've done all sorts of insane things. This is just, to me, it seems like the next natural iteration. So regardless of where that particular project places, I'm just kind of putting out the signals right now. Smoke signals over my little fire right here. Let's get the bandwagon going. And I'm down. So let's do it.
I'm calling out Masterfile and Nifty Chess. I think those are my two favorites. The hardware wallet is probably a close third. But the key here is how cool it is to see a new developer come in, fire some MetaMask transactions, put together something and see that work. And that's the getting started. And I think it's so cool that the space has so much composability and tools now that new developer comes in, sticks stuff together and builds a product. And that's super exciting.
Yeah. So speaking of Nifty Chess, there's this, apparently there's this meta effort already for ChessDAO. So we had 8,000 unique viewers for the chess live stream with Eric Rosen and Iwaki and all them. And
how do Iwaki do?
He didn't do
He's
so
pretty good, isn't he? No.
No, not really. I mean, I love Kevin, but like he got smoked like 3 times or something. Eric's really good though. So like, I mean, it's almost like not fair, but so like ChessDAO is going to be like a thing. So like, we're already like, I mean, I've already been drug into this because I'm a chess nerd too. I mean, I grew up playing chess with my father. So like, I thought Nifty Chess was really cool, but the whole meta concept of almost like a community of chess nerds and like tokenizing that could be really fascinating. So
there's something really cool in chess.com, and I'll admit it. I came back to chess because of Queen's Gambit, which was on Netflix. So I wasn't big on chess. I lost a lot. But one thing that they do is you can watch pros who are identified in the app play live. And imagine if you could actually go and partner with them, and there's just a buy this game as an NFT button, like buy game, purchase the game, right? You could send it to your friends. I don't know. I think that's really, really cool. Yeah.
So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to share my screen really quick, just to, let me see my entire screen. I have a second screen. Where's my second screen? Oh, there it is. I just want to come back to the whole community movement to a cooperative, and just the offer again. We're offering up 50. Where is it? Goodness gracious, John, come on. So we're offering up 50 of the packages for the T-shirt and Spork, and there's only 50. In fact, I think there's like half of them left. And you get 2 times the Spork rewards for your patronage in this particular thing. You get NFTs for both the T-shirt, wearable and Decentraland and Cryptovoxels, as well as you get the limited edition Golden Spork and a 2022 VIP ticket, 50% off buffercorn.com in perpetuity. And the price is 1 ETH at metafactory.ai. So it's ETHDenver.metafactory.ai. And this is the picture here. So this is, no, somebody I know actually fat fingered like a big Bitcoin transaction over there, and I gave us a gracious donation. And then we executed a refund.
Wow.
But in any case, we will see everybody next year for the year of the Gwei, February 2022, dates TBA, and meet our friend Gwei. This is the kid, as we say, and will be our guide and steward into the next frontier of the evolution of the ETHDenver community. Don't forget to give us feedback, ethdenver.com/feedback. Getting the feedback from the community is really, really important to us. We really gear a lot of our decisions around what the community is sort of signaling to us about like what we did well, what we didn't do well. And obviously we always come up with some really crazy creative things to do anyways. So there's all that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Pooja, what was your sort of major takeaway?
Well, my thoughts on projects, those were presented today. Like, I love few projects, of course. The chess was my most favorite one because my son is a chess nerd. So I would love to see him to come to this blockchain world. I have been asking him to join for a while. And the NFT project, like there are so many NFTs coming up, and these things is not, I think it's not going to be limited to NFTs only, but could be for many other, relative projects that we have at market. So yeah, it was fun, and it was really exciting to learn about the fact that people are exploring different ways to bring blockchain to the mainstream. And yes, of course, being the part of this panel is like getting honored. So really happy.
It's kind of scratching that inner nerd or the outer nerd. Either way, it's like great. Tung, what was your sort of major takeaway? And by the way, I was watching the chat the whole time, and people are like, man, she's awesome. She's like, what? She's the securities commissioner for Colorado? Like, how the heck does she know about all this? I'm like, wait, you forget that she was actually the chief counsel for the Ethereum Foundation? So, like, she kind of pays attention to this stuff. What was your takeaway?
Well, if you go with that, I think it's so exciting to see the ecosystem from when I started in 2015 with Ethereum, just to see it grow the way it has. I mean, I think there were a lot of believers then who had dreams of what it would be like, and to see it realized is really exciting. And I think all these ideas, when you're pushing that envelope and being innovative, I think it's great and it's exciting. Again, you know, my job as a regulator to keep people out of jail, keep people from being sued. So I'm always trying to look at that way, but your job is to innovate. And so I'm excited to see everyone pushing those envelopes. I have to say, I really like the chess one too, and it's probably everyone who's got a chess nerd in their life likes that one. Yeah, I really like the ID card. I like the DIGID ID. I like the one with you know, where you can look at the pricing of all these tokens as long as they're not selling it. So, you know, they were all, it was really exciting. And I think the big picture is just to know that you guys are doing this really exciting work on the forefront of an ecosystem that I think is going to be larger and even more exciting and growing. It's just great. So that's my takeaway.
Meta, what about, sorry, Tung, go ahead and finish.
I also have another call, so I might have to jump in a few minutes. If I do, I'm sorry I missed the end, but I really appreciate being part of it.
Big virtual hugs. Big virtual hugs.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tung. Meta, what was your major takeaway?
Well, what I loved is the variety. You know, we had a few projects that were innovating in the game space. We had projects that were dealing with identity. Then we had document management and provenance. And I really liked that there was just a wide variety of projects out there. We had some DeFi protocols. So it wasn't planned out that way, but it just shows the diversity of ideas and innovation that's happening in the ecosystem. And I really love that because there's such a huge opportunity in a lot of verticals, right, to use this technology. So for me, that was the big takeaway.
No, actually, I really agree with this one. I mean, if I think back to the 2018 installment, almost everything was tooling. Mm-hmm. It was like, you know, infrastructure, tooling, like really sophisticated, like, I don't really understand 75% of this stuff. And even from last year, we've really come up the kind of stack to more practical, like, use cases. And we were just talking about it out here and you know, outside the studio. And, you know, it's like, it's a sign of maturity. It's a sign of maturing. So I thought that was a really, and to me, that was a really encouraging signal because sometimes in you know, the noise to signal ratio and everything that's kind of, you don't always know what's going on. I think this was a really good indication that we're making progress. Peter, what about you?
First, in case Tung has to drop off, I just want to say thanks to all the rest of the panelists. This was really, really pleasant. And like your guys' feedback was awesome. Good to see Austin again. Nice to meet you, Meta and Pooja as well. So just want to get that out in case she had to drop off. But I think you hit the nail on the head. One thing that's really frustrating about this is like living in the future. Then you have to be reminded when you go and interact with these other things. And you have this like brainwashed mentality where like, I'm at an ATM and I'm like, why does this still exist? Right? Like if I have to go to one of these things, right? Like, why do we have this? Or like plenty of other software that we use day in and day out. You know, I have in my day to day, I have to deal with invoicing across multiple countries, right? Like crypto is distributed across so many geopolitical boundaries. And like, I run into these regulations that are there for good reasons. And then I run into the ones that are like, just like, I find out they are there from like 1850. There's like some outdated law that doesn't make any sense. And so like, you know, you have this really fascinating space that we play in between like, you know, financial regulations, like actual governments trying to protect their populations, and then these new private industry plays. That nexus, like once things kind of like sink and this goes quote mainstream, this is, by the way, the process by which it goes mainstream, events like this, right?
No, that's the whole point of our whole goal is to really not just do a hackathon, not just do a conference, but make it an experience. Like really experience the future. That's one of our themes is experience the future. And I think you nailed it 100%.
And leave it to ETHDenver to have decentralized performance art set up with peer-to-peer. Like, that was such an ETHDenver project.
It was such an ETHDenver project. That was amazing. Oh, that was fabulous. So thank you, judges. We now have Wilson joining us.
Hey.
And
hey.
he will be, what's up, dude? And
What's up, guys?
he will be announcing some winners and doing some finalization.
Yes, yeah, I got a slideshow and everything. So yeah, I know the waiting for all the open prizes to get in while we finish up the Quadratic Funding app. So once that processes, we'll bring on Auryn. But before we get there, we had a ton of other prizes to get through. So to start off, we have sponsor bounties. And so all of our sponsors, really, none of this could have been possible without any of them. So really thank them for all their contributions to this amazing event. So each one gets to submit a certain amount of credits to bounties and hackers as they go off and build their products and enter them into the open event that we just had the finalists judging for. They can also pick sponsor bounties along the way. So here we go as we roll them off. A couple in here, not waiting to be confirmed. This will be open later, so you can come check it out when it's ready. So Opolis here, you want to look through, dishing out $2,000, one for building a system for work rewards, and the other one on an open API spec. So there you go, Opolis, well done. Winners there. Waiting on Solana. Here we go, Uniswap grants programs. We have a couple of big winners, Jambot and Simple Finance. And then we have a runner-up there for Supplement Finance. Near Protocol. All right, so a lot of winners here. Blue Sky Hack, one with NFTs. We had a joint bounty with Ceramic Network. Some very, very cool ones at the end. A girl power bounty. I know that was, you had to have 50% women on your team. So 3 winners there. Global Citizens bounty. You had to have at least 50% of the people from different nations. And then Social Impact bounty, who was trying to, who had the best project that was really trying to make an impact on society. Harmony, a couple of winners here. Just best use cases of Harmony. Ceramic Network. So you had the best use case, pretty open one, a bunch of winners there. Go ahead, check it out when you get the chance. And then as well as the best use of their IDX, their identity index system. So you had a bunch of people submitting it there as well. I think we have another page of Ceramic Network winners here. So best new tools, one for social, and then a couple of combined bounties, one with textile and one with Near. So a lot of combination bounties that we had going out this year, which was great to see the collaboration between teams. Celo had some of the best, Celo, sorry, had some of the best names for their bounties. Well worth checking out just to read them. Port the Unicorn, You Had Me at Celo. The Press Switch Sandwich was my favorite. And if you couldn't tell, that was for an interoperability reward. So please go ahead, check those out. Great projects there.
Sending everyone else's names of prizes.
What's that?
I was saying that they're like basically have the best prize names.
Yeah, the Machu Picchu and crypto plants.
Is there a bounty for the best bounty prize names? I mean, I guess
Celo won. Celo won that, but I will say the best bounty video. If you haven't checked it out, the bounty videos on our bounty site came from Near. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It is good for a good laugh. 90 seconds of a lot of fun. All right, consensus. They had quite a bit here. So breaking down, trying to build on consensus quorum, a MetaMask choice award, and then a couple of DeFi projects that utilize consensus products as well. So I'm looking at one, the gasless wallet. That had to be a pretty cool one. So very interesting to check it out. Also going into how to bring Uniswap and ITX together, truffle reward as well, and then a diligence design bounty. 1inch had an open bounty protocol, so they had 2 winners there. Compound, same thing. So compound composability, winner there got 5,000 worth of CUSD. So how do you build compound using other protocols as well? Chainlink, so open bounty there, so best projects. And then they had a couple runner-ups for their Chainlink enabled projects as well. Waiting on Gnosis. Textile. So they also had, as we mentioned, a couple of joint bounties, one with Near, another one with Nucypher, so it'll be coming up. Again, love the collaboration. Definitely go check some of these teams out. You'll see that there is a lot of them are the same across different projects, as well as some of the finalists that we've seen. Off-chain labs, build anything on Arbitrum. Still on testnet, coming to mainnet. Very cool layer 2 off-chain system. So interesting to see how that goes from here. Superfluid, open bounty at the top, and then a best payments hack using Superfluid as well. And again, you can go and check any of these projects out. We'll have links to their portfolio pages there, so you can get to know them a little bit more. Telor, again, open bounty. You had first, second, and third place there. Unique One came in a little bit late, but we have a full DEX integration there, so congratulations on that project there. Waiting on the graph, waiting on Akala. Lot from IPFS. We had a lot of projects interacting with IPFS, which was awesome to see. Great to have everyone working on IPFS with their storage systems and see that integration with a lot of their projects. So you can go and check all those out there. I believe there are about 10 different winners. Unstoppable Domains, a couple of winners there. Congrats, guys. Polkadot, we had one winner on the non-technical side. So bounties can consist of technical products as well as anything that could be on the marketing or community building side. A couple here that we're waiting on. Parsec had a winner and runner-up for their trying to build an advanced block explorer using their product. Nucypher, so privacy layer 2 solution on Ethereum. So very cool if you want to go check some of those projects out. Again, another collaboration one with Textile. Filecoin, a couple winners here. So using their storage network alongside a couple of other projects as well. Very cool. Myconomy, one enabling gas payments with ERC tokens using Forward, one of their products, and leveraging meta transactions. Yes, love to see that. Innovative file integration. So Ron Stoner, nice job there. I know he was on stage earlier presenting. Casper Labs. Meta, you want to take this one away?
Oops. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, so we had 2 bounties there. We had one for cracking Casper and providing some bug reports and improvements and enhancements to the ecosystem. And then we have a really nice prize around key recovery. So we're really happy to fantastic implementation of social key recovery on chain. So leveraging some of Casper's features. Pretty cool stuff.
Love it. Yes, everyone, please go check those out. Waiting on Maker. Splunk, yes. They had a best project using Splunk, as well as a follow-up one. So give ETHLogger a try and provide feedback. So again, yeah, anything that can help out the project, whether it be technical or non-technical. And I believe this is the last one on the bounties, expanding the house for DAO House. Great to see a couple teams pulling in some bounties there. I'm going to roll through these so we can get to the open announcements. So impact bounty tracks. Again, a couple qualifications. All entries had to meet a UN sustainability goal. They were judged on 7 different criteria, including how impactful it was, sustainability, best use case of blockchain tech. So did it actually make sense, and how much better was it from centralized systems? And we're going through right now for the 5 scoring projects, and they will each get $3,000, $15K prize pool for that. So first one, DGenics, sorry. So fully autonomous DNA testing marketplace. Congrats there for the builders. So it's essentially trying to create a physical digital bridge that allows users to send genetic samples to be tested completely anonymously over the network. Payment is made in crypto, and they're not using any KYC for their system. Very cool to see some innovations on the health tech side. Second winner, TruCol. TruCol aims to build a decentralized platform for test-driven programming development. So it aims to eliminate the need for trust between sponsors and bounty hunters. And the protocol creates a free and fair job market, which will be trying to limit the inequalities between countries that might be limited. So it has the UN goal listed there of what they were trying to meet. Pub Crew, Colorado OS. It's how Web3 enables a digital backbone for more usable, efficient, and secure public infrastructure for Colorado. So love to see that. It's essentially a series of decentralized license registries on Web3 with DeFi features. They had a couple of use cases in there, one for a Parks Pass and another for digital gaming license entertainment and doing good works. You have the project link in there so you can check out more about what they're doing. Fourth one, Bechainify, and the project name Token Meme. So really just kind of educating the next generation about blockchain and cryptocurrency. And so trying to enrich the learning of kids, really teach them how to code, so socialize virtually in a trusted, secure blockchain to their trusted funds. And it's pretty interesting that it was built on Near protocol as well. So interesting to see people using different technologies of what's available. And last one, Brew Finance. So it's DeFi on real world assets and with fixed interest rates. So it has a very DeFi aspect to it, where it's trying to eliminate that high barrier of high collateralization of how we're using now. So trying to bring that aspect down so more people can use DeFi products or lend asset-based commodities on chain. And I thought one of the interesting use cases brought up by one of the judges was that it could have a potential impact on farmers in India, as farmers in India don't have sufficient financial assets like options, futures, and insurance to protect their crops. So pretty interesting use cases there from our various impact bounties. And that's it. If Auryn is ready, we could be good for the open rewards.
Welcome, Auryn.
Auryn. Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry for the blank stare there. I just realized that there was an ever so slight miscalculation, and so I'm just quickly correcting that. I think everyone will be happy with the new result because it's slightly more money for everyone. Anyway, I guess to just kind of fill everyone in on what's happened, we tried out Quadratic Funding for the open track this year using ClearFund, which is a quadratic funding application or quadratic funding protocol built on zero knowledge proofs using this really cool system called MACI, the Minimal Anti-Collusion Infrastructure. So all of the open track judges and the celebrity judges were given some XDAI to contribute to the projects that they liked the best. They could contribute in kind of any ratio they wanted. And then we had a matching pool of 10,000 XDAI that would be allocated according to the rules of quadratic funding. And then on top of that, we also opened up voting to the rest of the community or the rest of the attendees. So anyone that registered with an XDAI compatible Ethereum address was able to go in and participate in voting. So I don't know if anyone has the graphics handy. Like I said, I was just making a last-minute alteration, so I'm gonna quickly paste them back into our internal Slack. And if someone wants to grab them and throw them on the slideshow, that would be awesome. but the results are pretty interesting, different to what I would have expected. And so I'm keen for everyone to see them and for us to kind of, I guess, talk about how this has gone as an experiment. All right, so I just dropped the images in. Let's see how we go.
Sorry, where are you sharing them, Auryn?
Just over on Slack.
I'm not in that channel. I apologize. Can you drop them in the private chat on the right side?
Oh, yeah. Can I drop images there?
Do you have a link?
I don't have a link, but I can get one.
Thanks.
How
Or you can share your screen too.
Yeah.
You can share your screen, Auryn.
Yeah.
Let's do that then. Bear with me.
Old school.
Don't worry, I know how it feels to be like stuck in the, what do I gotta do to get, wait, my security settings won't let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how embarrassing. It's all good, we take it in stride.
I see Wilson's screen. Is that it?
I have it up if you want it.
Great. Let's take that.
All righty, cool. So yeah, here we go. Here we've got the results. Very surprising. So a pretty even distribution, with the exception of I guess it's Yogen, which seems to have taken a massive chunk of the funding pool. So if you skip down to the next image, Wilson, you can see here the kind of total distribution. And yeah, again, Yogen, by the looks of it, had a couple of really large contributions. So they've got kind of a disproportionate. I guess maybe jump back to the other image, Wilson. They've got a really disproportionate kind of contribution to matching pool ratio, which kind of just tells me that there was a few people that really loved Yogen, and they kind of YOLO'd into Yogen and pushed its total way up, but not kind of disproportional to the amount of kind of matching funds that they received. Anyway, so the rest of the distribution is pretty flat, which is I guess a more typical curve to what you would see in our quadratic funding rounds. In the past, we've seen kind of 2 or 3 projects take a pretty big chunk of it, and then a pretty gentle curve after that. So this is a much larger spike than what I've seen in the past, but really interesting. And then the last image there is just the kind of pie distribution to give a bit of another look at it. I guess I'm keen to hear everyone else's thoughts on how this ended up playing out. I guess a huge congratulations to Yogen. They seem to have done really well. Round of applause to them. And then obviously the other projects as well that all made it through to the top 20. Really great work to all of them. One last thing. There is a few contributions still to be made into the matching pool. So the matching pool will actually increase a little bit, and these numbers will go up slightly for everyone.
So we had a question come in here, and just, in terms of like just the integrity of quadratic funding, I'm just curious, what are the attack vectors? Is there a Sybil attack, Sybil resistance to this? Is this something that could have been the community, somebody from the community dumped a bunch of money into it and pirated the pool in a way? So in terms of Sybil resistance, we used the basically everyone who registered for ETHDenver and who was kind of accepted, if they supplied an Ethereum address that was XDAI compatible, then they were whitelisted as a contributor. And then on top of that, all of the judges obviously were whitelisted as contributors. So in terms of attack vectors there, I mean, if someone had have preordained that this might be how voting was going to happen, and then registered a whole bunch of Sybil accounts for ETHDenver and managed to get them through the acceptance process, then that may have been one way to kind of Sybil attack They could have
this.
just had a bunch of their friends do it, right?
The other thing there is obviously just coordinating and getting a bunch of your friends to participate. And so, I mean, that's in that case, there's a fine line between kind of just coordination and legitimate collusion. And I think there's a solid argument either way there. What it looks like to me is that there was a relatively probably a decent number of people that all contributed relatively more to Yogen than what they did to other projects, if they contributed to other projects at all. Yeah, I mean, my kind of immediate instinct isn't to say that there's any kind of a Sybil issue or anything there. It's more than likely that there was a concentrated base of users that really liked that project.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Auryn. So we will be in touch with all of the finalists to allocate their prize money following the event. That will start happening, oh goodness, Tuesday, I suppose, because Monday's a holiday. So stay tuned for all of that. We really appreciate everybody's contribution and time. We've only got 2 minutes before we've got to cut to our after party. So closing thoughts, go, Austin.
I said it already. It's amazing that a hacker can just sit down, pull some things off a shelf, and build a decentralized application. They can build on Web3 in a weekend, and that's exciting.
We can't hear it enough. Auryn, closing thoughts, go.
Oh man, I mean, I'm just excited with ETHDenver having kind of really finally pulled off like an online event. You know, like there's been so many attempts at online events, and ETHDenver really pulled it off. It was great.
Pooja, go.
Cool stuff at Denver. Keep it bringing.
We're gonna. Meta.
Oh, just really happy to be here. Love the Ethereum community, and this was a fantastic event. So congratulations to everybody.
Peter.
See you next year.
Holla. Wilson.
I love the collaboration from everyone here. It was fantastic to see. Let's do it again next year.
All right, Russell, final thoughts, dude.
Colorado's in blockchain for the win. Woo!
First digital state. Holler to Governor Polis. Thank you. Lou Cordova, Tung Chan, everybody from the state of Colorado that helped make this happen. Shout out to all the stewards. Just unbelievable amount of support. Like literally the creativity just is unimaginable. And we will look forward to seeing everybody at the after party. Gamer Jive, go there, be there. And that's it. Mic drop. We out.